All right. Thank you for tuning in to the Depeche Commode channel. I'm Chris, and I have a special guest with us, Mr. J-Dawg from Hell's Headbangers Records.
What
J-Dawg,
news?
thanks for jumping in.
No problem, man. Yeah. I wish more people would ask me to fucking do this shit. A few kind of hit me up. I'm waiting for goddamn Melanie Loves Death Metal to hit me back the fuck up. She said she'd do it. There's her. I I was contacting talking to who else? Somebody asked me to do one. What was another channel? Forget, but I would do one with Ken's Death Metal Crypt. I'd do it with them anyway.
Mhm.
But some people are like, yeah, I'll have you. But they never fucking fell through. The only one, like I said, the only one I've done, it's the only channel I've been, I think, is Francisco's, like I was telling you earlier. I think that's the only other channel I've been. I thought there was, oh, you know what? There was this one kid too. His name was Stefan Goldberg, and he orders from us. He did an interview. Actually, he was the very first one I did. We did it on the phone or whatever. To my knowledge, he's never even posted it. And this was over a year ago.
Mhm.
Like he's like, and I followed up to him and texted him like, hey man, you gonna post that? Yeah, I still gotta edit it. I'm like, dude, it's like well over a year ago.
Right.
Like, well, how long does it take, man?
Okay. So it's probably not getting edited at some point.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I mean, because it was his idea. So that's my only request. I think didn't I go on somebody else's? I went on somebody else's recently. Oh yeah, I did a live. I did. It was but it was just audio only. It was on his website. What the fuck was it? Static Noise, I believe.
Mhm.
I did an interview with him. But my request when people are asking, I'm like, yeah, I'm always up for doing interviews or collabs or coming on your channels. I was like, but dude, you got to post the fucking thing. I was like, I don't want to just be talking to myself because, like I said, I wasted.
Yeah.
Pretty good. And it's never. I was like, well, what the fuck, man? Now it's not. It's not even out there.
Right. I hear you. And then so Francisco's channel is called Jamming Out All Badass, where you can check out J-Dawg's
Yep.
interviews with him under the live stream tab. Cool. Awesome. So you've been in the YouTube thing for, I think, probably about a year now is when you first got started.
Over a year. So it's exactly December 24th, the day before the bastard's fucking birthday of 2021.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So it was like 14 months.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Awesome. And you're kind of breaking up a little bit. Are you
Am
on
I?
Wi-Fi? Yeah.
I'm on Wi-Fi. Sure
Okay.
am. Because I can hear you fine. You haven't broken up at all yet. Which
Okay.
is funny because when we do meetings, we use them through what's that fucking shit? Discord. And it's always mine. I can never hear those guys. It breaks up. Like when I say break up, I mean it breaks up bad. Like
Mhm.
every fucking 3 seconds, literally.
Yeah.
But they're like, I can hear you fine. I'm like,
Okay. Yeah.
all right. Did
I
I
guess.
break up at all there?
Yeah. You froze up for just like a half a second. So,
Okay.
but not a big deal. It doesn't take away from the metal, you know.
Yeah. I only got a few like actual windows open that are just the internet on my computer. So I got nothing crazy open. Those are a couple things if that helps. Yeah.
And I can go in and just edit this part out too.
Okay. But yeah, I mean everything's closed on my end, so I mean.
Okay. Fuck it. We'll just deal with it. So and then also too, it's like, part of your format on your show, you go through every day, you go through readers' comments. You read one of my comments one time, so I
What was it?
appreciated that. I asked about mutilated veterans and if there was a plan to maybe release all that stuff on CD or do a repress.
Yeah, I remember that question because nobody ever brings them up. So
Um,
yeah, I do remember that question. I don't handpick the questions at all, dude. I literally just go to the bottom of the video and go up to something that has question marks or it might be funny.
mhm. Okay, cool.
Look anyone or
Yeah,
leave anyone out? Nothing.
yeah, definitely. Mutilated veterans, and then Dopey, the guy
Mhm.
who started the band. I've been a big fan of like all of his stuff. Like
Mhm.
Masha Tazo's like one of my favorite grind bands.
Yeah, we
Uh,
worked with them and Dishammer and
yeah, oh yeah, definitely. And plus, it's sick too because he's like a drummer slash lead vocalist, which is kind of a unique angle
yeah.
that you don't see a lot.
Yeah, I was a little bummed. I was almost able to meet Dopey in person at whatever Maryland 2016, maybe 15, 16, 14, something around there. They played up to our stand, but I was like, I was away at the moment. I was maybe watching a band because I think Eric and Chase were there at the time, my brothers. So I missed him because I never met him in person. And
Yeah.
a lot of these guys too. It's funny because, like I said before, starting the channel, most of these guys don't even know who I am. Like all the Makatazo stuff and shit like that. That was Eric and Chase talking to them. You generally Chase setting up the release and setting up all the arrangements, and then Eric talking to them through layouts. So most of these guys, they have no clue that I even exist. They might kind of know now other than YouTube. But when it's funny, it's funny because 90% of the time, if anyone mentioned they know anyone from Hell's Headbangers, it's always Chase.
Yeah.
You mentioned Justin, they'd be like, who the fuck's that?
Right. Yeah. So like that's one thing that's interesting about Hell's is that you're three brothers who run like a label and a distro together. So how like what came first? Was it the label or the distro? And then how did all of that just become an idea? Like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, it started off as a distro only. And the thing is I've told the story a few times, even on one on the channel, is it was initially how it first started. The whole idea was just to start a website because the three of us were all buying. That was before fucking YouTube and all that shit. You couldn't really check shit out without buying it. You had to buy it to check it out, right?
Yeah.
So what happens? You accumulate stuff you don't like, right? So it's like, well, what do you do with stuff you don't like? You know, it's like, we could go to take it up to a place called Record Exchange, get literally 50 cents for it, which is a fucking just may as well just give it away at that point. Or I was like, what if we were able to sell it or whatever? And it's without like eBay or something like that. So we started a website of just the stuff we didn't like. The three of us of the titles that we accumulated that, just picked up this album. I don't like this one. You know what I mean? To kind of get money back.
Yeah.
And then we just started to build up kind of like a catalog to draw on more eyeballs, start wholesaling from other places. And then from there it was Jim Sadis from Nunslaughter. He had his side project band Spawn of Satan and asked us if we'd put out a CD. Well, fuck, we don't know anything about that. And he's just like, well, I'll show you the place that we press them at that I press my stuff at. He's like, I just don't want 1,000 copies. That's generally what you press. We press a CD is 1,000. So I don't need 1,000 of them. Because if you guys do it, like, yeah, how much is that? That's gotta be expensive. So it's about $1,000. I remember the three of us kind of like, all right, I mean, $1,000 for 1,000 CDs. That's $1 time. I've had a job since I was 13. So it was like, I was like, just each one of us could have came up with $1,000 easily. And I was like, between the three of us, what's $333 a piece? That's nothing. It's like, so it's kind of like, it's almost like we were shocked at how easy it was and how cheap it was. And then we'd take those and we'd trade with Relapse and stuff like that. Like, okay, instead of wholesaling Mortician, Nile, and Exhumed titles like that for $8, we'll trade these CDs from against them and get them for $1 plus the shipping price to ship your stuff back and forth. So it's like, all right, a unit cost instead of $8, so your profit margins went way the fuck up. And for us, it was just kind of like, this is just common fucking sense.
Right. And
that's
also,
how it started.
Yeah, and you can also build your collection.
Correct. That's exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. It's an interesting business approach. And because I was thinking about that myself, I was like, man, what's a way to get around paying the retail price for everything?
That's how we started. Was exactly that. That's why. It first was get rid of the stuff that sucks having to spend money on stuff that you didn't want to keep. And then also too, I was like, when we were wholesaling, I was like, oh well, fuck, it was instead of the $12. And then, you know what I mean? Yeah, it was at the cheaper price. That was we thought the exact same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And, because one thing going back to what you were saying before about how we couldn't sample stuff online, back in the early days, this is the Hell's.
Oh yeah. The printed catalogs. Yep.
Yeah.
I missed doing those, man. Those were fun. That was fun. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Does it say the year on there?
It's #1 from 2010.
2010. Okay. Cause I couldn't remember what the year. Okay. So 13 years ago. So
yeah.
Okay. It seems like forever ago. We done a couple. So that's the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. We done, I don't remember how many we did though. Maybe 2, maybe 3. But yeah, I mean, but dude, it just seems so fucking long ago. Yeah.
Yeah, this is cool too because and this was a thing of like back in the day, is a catalog was also a zine a lot of times too. So you got interviews in here with Bestial Mockery, Destructor, Disfigured Dead, and all of that, and it's kind of just.
Well, we took the a page out of you said this, or if even maybe Eric and Chase kind of forgot themselves, or if anyone caught on. A lot of our playbook that we took out of was from Relapse Records because we ordered a lot as kids from Relapse Records. What we liked about Relapse, they had catalogs that are very similar that we try to imitate that. And if you look at our compilation / sampler CDs, that's what Relapse called them, called samplers. They gave out free for orders. That's where we got our, those slipcase, those slimline cake, then there's just a disc in there with a track off each band. That's where we got the idea from.
Yeah.
Because we got those as kids. We're placing out bands like, pretty sure that's how I first heard Nile. Pretty sure that's how I first heard Incantation, Deceased. That's how I heard them, was tracks off that. You bought a Mortician CD, you got that in, you listen, and you're like, oh, I like this band, and literally went out and bought them. So our mentality is like, we like those as kids. So why would kids of today not like it? Who the fuck doesn't like a free CD? And surely they'll probably like at least one band on there. And theoretically, if you like it, you buy it, right? And theoretically, they buy physical format because they already placed the order through us, hence how they fucking got it.
Yeah. Relapse, I remember back in the day, they had the Resound catalog, which was their zine, and then like the solid sampler and all. I still have a bunch of those, and I still have some of the early Hell samplers that I got in orders way back when. But yeah, this is definitely, these days are long gone of the printed catalogs.
Yeah, they are. But, I don't remember the last one. So that was one. Like I said, I think we did a second and a third. I think so. But it's either way, it was a long time ago since we last did it.
Yeah. So this was definitely really cool. And then on the back too, it was sort of a flashback. Like I remember this Royal Arch Blasphemy album. I always wanted to order that and I never got it, and now it's like impossible to find. So I'm just like, oh shit, looks like I'm jumping on Discogs when we get off of this.
Yeah. That's the way. I mean, trust me, I've had to do that for myself on lots of stuff that I own that you missed out, and I was like, the only gonna get is eBay or Discogs.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what prompted that when I asked you about Mutilated Veterans, because I have the 7-inch that he put out, which I don't think that was on Hell's, but the 12-inch, I'm like, man, I want to get that, but there's like one copy in Belgium or something like that. So if you find one laying around the warehouse, hit me up.
I doubt we just did the 12-inch maxi, but we had the 7 inches in stock. Yeah. Remember when we got those in, and then but we did put out the 12-inch. That was the only thing. Yeah. And then I don't think he's doing anything, or again, I've actually never talked to Dopey. I was always just Chase, and I'm assuming Eric as well. So I've never talked to him. I don't know if that was just a side project. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's because I think it's just the 12-inch and the 7-inch. I know now he has like this band I like a lot called Leprophiliac. They're kind of more sludgy, like Death Doom.
Oh, I've seen the name. I didn't realize that was him though. I did see the name though. Yeah, okay.
Real good stuff. And then he has another band too called Premature Burial. Okay. I just got that CD, and it's kind of more of a take on traditional metal.
Sound like a Malevolent Creation? Is that the Malevolent Creation song?
Okay, it's similar in that vein. It's not just blasty or grindy, kind of like what we're used to for of everything that he's done. Okay. But yeah, definitely worth checking out, especially the Leprophiliac. I'm a big fan of that stuff.
Who put out the Leprophiliac?
There have been a couple labels. Let me see here.
Yeah, I know the name. I want to say it even came in through Hell's. I've definitely seen the name, but I haven't listened to it.
This is one thing about getting old, is all the black album art with red font. I just can't read a lot of it anymore.
Oh, really? Your eyes that?
This is a split that he just put out with Rotting Grave. It was a 7-inch. This is the the CD. Clandestine Productions put this one out.
Okay.
Then, where else? I can't find the right. I think Rescued from Life is another.
Oh, we deal with it. Yeah, okay, makes sense. We deal with them. Yeah, so that would make sense.
Yeah.
All
right, cool. And then
how old are you then? Because you're saying getting old. Just out of curious, how old are you?
47.
Oh shit, dude, you got fucking 9 years on me.
Yeah.
So you definitely know the old days. Because dude, I laugh when people think like I've been around. Again, I've told the story in my first show. However, was people like, oh man, that would have been great to see Death and shit. I'm like, saw them on their last questionably good album. What do you mean? Seeing them in 1988 or 87 would have been cool.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm a newbie. What do you mean?
Yeah.
But the younger guys, they don't get it. Like they come on the channel, they're literally 19, 20 years old. Dude, it cracks me up when someone tells me I was born in 2003. What the fuck? I graduated high school in 03.
Right.
So, let's say even yourself, it's more so for you. I mean, because you're even older than me.
They're shows have definitely changed a lot just because of like insurance reasons and stuff like that. Like I hate going to seeing, just some legacy band play at some just horrible corporate venue, where they have like
Mm.
the tape and the security guards and all that type of crap. And
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, I've definitely been to some good shows, during my time.
Yeah, dude, I definitely miss for me, the old days. For me, like, dude, the late 90s, early 2000s, those were the
Oh yeah.
shit. I can only imagine what the late 80s, early 90s were. Because
Yeah.
that's where I feel like I missed what. I don't feel like I did miss out. That to me is like when, like, guys, when I hear they're going to shows since 87,
Hmm.
like Magic,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I never got to experience that, obviously.
Yeah, I always kind of felt like I was born a decade late. Like I think the 80s thrash scene or just all of that, the underground death metal scene just would have been so awesome to experience that,
Dude, I've always said
and
it. I've had the conversation with many people, and I said, dude, I wish I was born earlier. Well, you'd be older now. You died. I was like, yeah, but you still get the same X amount of years. You're not getting gypped. If you live to be 80 years old, you live to be 80 years old. And I would have loved to been like, let's say, 16 years old in the year 1980.
yeah. Oof, man.
Like you're old enough to absorb it. You're old enough to have a part-time jobs where you can buy the shit and go to shows.
Yeah.
So imagine, dude, you would have been 21 when Seven Churches came out and shit.
Oh
Would
yeah.
have been able to experience it all. So if you were 16 in the year 1980, to me, yeah, and if you're in the know, you knew what metal was coming out. Fucking dude, that you had the best years ever.
Yeah, and also too, that time, when tape trading was a big thing,
Mm-hmm.
and zines were just Xerox sheets of paper stapled together and stuff,
Yeah.
There was some tail end of that in the 90s, but then, once the internet totally changed things. And
Oh, 100%. 100% did. Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah.
And then
uh,
with the internet, I mean, social media changed it even more.
oh yeah. Yeah, and I think in a way too, it's like, yeah, it's a lot easier to discover new bands, but at the same time too, now there are just so many bands, it's like
Yeah.
just overwhelmed with all these bands that I just don't get around to listening to, and I might be missing out on
That's
something
the
great.
way I am. Like, I mean, it feels like it's funny because there's more to go because it's so like over. It's like it's just all the same shit over and over and over again. So it's got to look like something that's really going to interest me. I was like, otherwise, it's like, I've heard this for the millionth time. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So
All right, cool. Yeah, yeah, definitely getting old. I'm telling you though, going to shows, like, are you going? So you've been going to Maryland Death Fest, and are you going to the Horror at the Harbor? That's this Memorial Day weekend.
no, where's that? What is that?
It's in Baltimore, but it's at the Inner Harbor. It's 2 days. I think it's
No, full disclosure, the last time I've been to Maryland Death Fest was 16 or 17.
yeah.
That was the last time, so I wasn't going every year. I There's a good chance I might go next year if
Hmm.
Hemorrhage is playing. I emailed them. Louise said there's more than likely playing. It's looking like they're on the bill, but I mean, as long
Yeah.
as they country. So if I get a definite Hemorrhages playing, I more than likely will go. As far as out of town fest, it looks like I'm going to is the Metal Threat in Chicago, which is about a month from now.
Yeah. I'm, yeah, I'm going to Metal Threat
Uh,
on the Friday.
oh, you're going to Metal Threat?
Yeah.
Just the Friday?
Just the Friday for now. I think I might go Saturday too. I really would like to see Perdition Temple.
Okay.
It's a sick lineup. It really is.
Yeah, yeah.
I, that, yeah, I know. Yeah, and then Sunday too, I'd love to see Aura Noir and some other bands. So I might
So I'm
just
pretty
drop in on Sunday. I don't know.
yeah. So the plan is looking like because I think it starts on Thursday. I'm like, oh fuck, I don't know if I want to because 4 days that's a lot. So it's looking like I don't know. I'm kind of going by what the wife's saying is, and we kind of discussed it as drive up Thursday, so probably won't make it to the show Thursday, but be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's
Yeah,
what it's looking like. And
cool.
then I'm considering going to that North Carolina Fest too, which is dude, it's like the beginning of May, so it's maybe a week or two after Metal Threat. I'm considering going to that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The Chicago Threat Fest, because I'm in Chicago.
Yeah, so it's fucking nothing for you. For me, it's a 6 hour drive.
Yeah, yeah, and here in the city, I live like a couple blocks from a record store called Meteor Gem, and on Friday they have a party bus that's going down from the city and driving back. So
Oh, okay.
I'm
Yeah, so
definitely
you got
jumping on that.
Yeah, so it's easy for you.
Yeah, yeah. And but cool. And then the North Carolina, that's the I think Incantation are playing that one.
That's McAtee's Fest. John McAtee, he's the one that
Yeah.
puts it on. This is his second year. To be honest with you, the main reason I want to go is I don't know if it sounds silly, but if it does, oh full fucking well. Is Corpse Grinder's supposed to be there just hanging out with the fans. I'm sure they fucking hired his ass to come out there and kind of just almost as like a fucking sponsored fucking musician, right? Because I kind of would like to get an interview with him on the channel. I think it'd be cool.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah. So because you're a big Cannibal Corpse fan,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
number one all time for you.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because that's the first death metal band I ever heard. That was the first death metal. Again, a newbie as well, dude. The first death metal record I heard was Cannibal Corpse Vile. I was 10
Yeah.
years old.
Hmm.
No, 10. I had no, I know what I said. No, I was 11 or 12 years old. And that was the current album at the time. That's the first one Corpse Grinder sings on. So to me, there's a stop. That's literally like, it was literally like, whoa, what's this shit? Can't even understand what the guy's saying. That was literally the reaction. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
So,
so now, like, what's your thing? Are you more of a Barnes era guy or a Corpse Grinder?
dude, honestly, I just love both. I mean, there's albums by Bar. I mean, my favorite album of all time is probably Tune the Mutilated.
Yeah.
But there's albums. I mean, like, but to be honest, I probably like the album Vile more than I like Butchered at Birth. But then I like, Eating Back to Life more than I like fucking, Gore Obsessed. So it goes. There's albums I like more than each. But I liked both eras. But that was the first death metal band that I got into. So to this day, every time they put out a new album, I always pick it up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I own every fucking record. So
Yeah. This is my Vile CD from high school. I think around that time when I got it. It still has the warranty sticker from the wall, which was a brick and mortar chain on the East Coast at the time.
okay, damn.
Like one thing that I never even really paid much attention to it. And then I kind of just rediscovered it within the past few years was the Vile demos that Barnes did vocals on.
Ready to Kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely very raw, but I'm like, because I am admittedly, I'm a Barnes guy. And I'm one of those guys who like, well, the logo, that was the real logo,
Yeah. I do like the first logo better for sure. I do like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. But no,
And
that Create a Kill demo, yeah, with Barnes singing that shit's fucking great.
yeah, it is. And I think now, because what I have is a boot of it, but I think it was released on that box set that they put
Correct.
out.
That's the only thing officially it's on is the CD box set, which I have that as well. And
Mhm.
then I have bootleg CD disc of it as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. I saw that it was on vinyl. So I'm kind of like, this helped breathe some life back into Cannibal for me. Definitely a big fan of that stuff. And cool. So now one thing too that with my background on my channel, I like to talk a lot about kind of the design process, the manufacturing thing. I have a background in a lot of that stuff, and I know that you have a background in print design or a
Well, I
print
went to
press.
graphic arts, and so I ran a printing forms for like State Farm and
Hmm.
like shit like when if you get like an invoice in and it just has like their letterhead, a lot of their logo with their address and shit like that. A lot of that stuff I print. You'd have to print like a million of them up, and it's be like literally an 80-hour job.
Yeah.
Just printing shit like that. So nothing like I wouldn't know how to press up like a vinyl cover or something. I mean, like like a LP cover so that was all full color. Like I don't have any experience in that,
But you're like a press operator
but
and
there's the bindery and cutting and folding and all that shit. I was in that world. Yeah.
okay, yeah, the finishing. Because one thing about Hell's too, you guys have awesome packaging. Like the Hell's releases definitely I'd say are top notch for reissues that are coming out, and you guys you do the foil stamping, and it's having a background in print design like I do. You can pick out things like a 4-color logo that doesn't, or where the registration is off, and things like that. And there's definitely an attention to detail with the Hell's releases that you guys put out.
Yeah, for something. So Eric does most of the layouts, and then we have another person we kind of hired outside to do layouts to keep up with it.
Mhm.
But at the printing, I mean, we just go to the main pressing plant that most of the people do. I mean, there's a few vinyl plants out there, but the main one is GZ Vinyl over in
Yeah.
Czech Republic. So we just use them. So I mean, they do the printing and stuff like that for the most part. I mean, almost all our vinyl goes there, if not all. We have done. I remember like the Nunslaughter Blasphemer 7-inch that we did. Fuck, dude, maybe that might have been down that press. But there's certain Nunslaughter things that we didn't use GZ for. There's some off, but most of it's GZ. So
Mhm.
that's just what we went through. And it's just, yeah, it seems like their quality is good. But you know, Nuke War Now and Iron Bonehead and shit, that's who they go through too. High
Yeah.
Roller Records, it's all GZ. So
Yeah. So now, do they print the jackets, liner notes, and press the vinyl, or are they
everything, yeah. It comes, yeah, just assembled, ready to roll.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You see it like, yeah, just like I got a record here, like you just see like you know, I got this Martin record sitting here. The vinyl comes just like this. You know, the record, the sleeve. I mean, it's on a skid.
Yeah.
You can. Some people do print like covers separately somewhere else and records separately somewhere else. The only problem with that is then you got to hand assemble all that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like just going through the old Hell's catalog. You have that um, which one is it here? It's the Profanica box set that you guys did, where it was like in a wood box. Like, did you have
Those
to
were
just drive down to the arts and crafts store and buy a pallet of box set of wood boxes? Or
so let me think. Well, Eric would have sucks is shipped to us in these crates, and then isn't that I think it's a sticker that's on there, or is that actually printed on there? I can't remember.
I never got this, but yeah,
I'm trying to think. It's if it's a sticker that we had a hand put them up, maybe it's printed on there. I can't remember, but the records definitely had to be assembled inside. Like what is it? I think it's 3 records, 4. Shit, it was a wild. Is it 3?
3 8-inch records.
Yeah. So, but those all had to been hand assembled inside the box. Yeah, I remember that. And guess who had to fucking do that?
Right, your ass. So now, because like that's one thing that's interesting too, is kind of just with inflation and everything, and rising production costs. Are bands really kind of? I haven't seen many 7-inches come out or 10-inches or anything like that. Is sort of are labels mostly just kind of sticking to the 12-inch format now, just for cost?
You know, what's funny is now that inflation's gone up, it seems like just in the last year, it seems like 7-inches are becoming more common, at least on our end and others. And it just seems like it's just expected now. You're going to pay $10 to $12. That's what they are.
Yeah.
Because the riches in the last 5-6 years, I would say part of it was because not too many came our way, like as far as ideas, bands have an idea for. And another part is I know Chase was getting kind of annoyed with them. He's like, yeah, dude, the prices are fucking shit, etc. So I think it just gets to the point where you just accept it, I guess. And I think part of it was the reason it kind of got accepted was you saw like the bigger labels, like the Centromedias and shit or Nuclear Blast, they'll put a 7-inch out and it's just being sold for $12 and people are buying them. So it's like kind of like when we did that Incantation Blood Split, which we did that like 3 months ago or so. I mean, the color vinyl's already sold out. The black vinyl's almost, I mean, we did it's either $10 or $12 retail because it costs probably literally, it probably costs like right around $7.50 to $8 to press, and then you got to give the band their copies, so your price goes even up because you get the percentage. So yeah, that's just what you have to not mark it up to make a profit, but people still bought them. You know what I mean? So right. I think it's just becoming like this is the new price, it's the new norm. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
And with vinyl, we pay the price. If it goes
pretty
up
much, yeah,
$1 or $2, it's nothing. For a lot.
Well, it's funny too because if somebody should whine that like fuck, I'm not paying $10 for a 7-inch, but they'll go to a fucking whatever metal show if it's at a bigger show and have no problem paying $10 for a beer.
Right. Yeah.
Like exactly. That makes no logical sense. That fucking shitty Budweiser is going to be down in 10 and you're going to be gone in 20 minutes. This 7-inch you're going to own for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So where was that $10 better well spent? Like it just doesn't make sense to me because that was my logic always as a kid. Because dude, I was never a party guy, right? I didn't have my first beer until I was 22 years old. I never cared. You know what I mean? I was just never. I thought we 30 years old. That shit's fucking stupid, dude. I'm sleepy and it smells like ass. So I was never a party dude. So when I was at show 16 and stuff, and I saw these guys, the show, they're like, oh yeah, man. Like they look at like what I picked up or whatever. Like, oh man, yeah, it was $15. I didn't have it. I'm like, but you bought 5 beers for the night, bro. You spent more than $15 on beers. It just, that didn't make sense to me. I'm like, even if you like to drink, I was like, I understand. I was never judging things because it wasn't what I was into. I was like, but you wasted your money on all these drinks. I was like, this record I'm going to have for the rest of my life. And if I always bought at the show and the band was around, I'd have them all sign it. I have so many records and CDs that I have memories of now that I bought when I was 15. And I had the guy. That to me, that $15-$20 was way better well spent than a fucking on the stupid beers. Now, if you can afford both, then like I'm in the club that now if I go show I can afford both. So, I'll buy the beers and the fucking vinyls. But if I had to pick one or the other, I was like, I'd rather buy a shirt. I'd rather buy a CD, rather buy an LP. You know what I mean? I was like, because it's kind of me. I mean, I don't do that as much anymore because a lot of the shows I go to, I already either know the band and I like it and own it, or I go and I see the band. I'm like, it was okay, but it's nothing I would buy. But when I pick it up, I try to buy something, number one, to help support the bands. And number two, you're creating memories. To me, it's like kind of like a photo memory. You know what I mean? Like it's like taking a photo almost,
Oh yeah. And when you go to a show too, it's like, okay, buying vinyl, CDs, a shirt. But then I'm also one of those ones too, where it's like I keep the flyers and the stickers, I've learned over the years how to, because I am a beer guy. Admit it, and a junk food guy.
I think any of us that are deep into this, and surely in this, I think we're all a little slightly off.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. There, no arguing there. Cool. Awesome. So, one thing I wanted to do is kind of go through some Hell's releases that I've bought over the years, and some of these bands I haven't heard from any of them in a while, so I guess they're not around any longer. But maybe if you had some background on where they're at now or about the release,
I'll do my best, but like I said, that's more of a Chase was in contact with most of them, but I got the best front row seats, I guess you could say. But some of them, believe it or not, some of the releases I set up, like stuff like Mortician, Centurions, The Deceased, that's most of those are for me. I just set up a Hemorrhage Anatomical Inferno. We're gonna do that on vinyl. I literally just set that up. Divine Empire, that shoot away at which ones you got, and that maybe if it wasn't one I'll set up, I could tell you what I know.
Okay, cool. Well, this first one, this is a 7-inch from Evil Army. I really like these guys.
Love them, man. I absolutely love Evil Army. I like everything. Their full length is definitely my favorite, but Evil Army, man, I think that is one of the most underrated bands that we've ever dealt with.
Yeah,
huge fan. I absolutely love them, dude. That stuff hits me like a ton of bricks every time.
Yeah.
Very, very good band. As far as what they're doing now, I don't know. And I know the guys, admittedly, not me talking shit, that they had on and off drug problems.
Yeah.
I mean, the one guy, was it Bones? He fucking died of a drug overdose. So I don't think it's no mystery.
Oh, really?
They talk about, but Rob Evil, he's like the balls of the band, the main guy. I know he's had on and off drug problems. I don't know if he still is because they haven't done anything, but that's my only guess of like maybe why time goes by, nothing happens. I don't think they've ever announced like, hey, we're done. But dude, I would love for them to do another full length.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they're fucking fantastic.
Yeah. This is a good one. I have the full length on CD somewhere, but I don't have any of my CDs organized at all. So that's
see, I'm super organized. See, look at this, dude. You want to see Evil Army? I'll show you Evil Army. I'll just go right.
Come on, show me some Evil Army. For anyone listening, Evil Army, check that shit out because their catalog, it's small, but it's really good.
So this is the full length. I own 2 discs. This is the original pressing, and then I have the Hell's pressing we did.
Yeah, I have that one.
Well, it's on. This was, I think, just self-released. Because I think Tennessee is where they're from. Tennessee, right? I know they're Southern guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is
around
there. Get Revenge Records. I'm pretty sure this is just Rob Evil's label. And then here's the Hell's pressing. We did the red shells and the red trays.
Yeah, I have that one. Awesome.
And then this other CD I have is just kind of like a compilation disc. These are the only 3 CDs I own by Evil Army. Everything else is on vinyl. Like I own the LP. I own the original LP for the album. I own the Hell's pressing LP of the album. And then I own a bunch of the 7-inches. And we did a 12-inch maxi. So And I know they did a couple 7-inches on their own. I think I own every vinyl released by Evil Army. I could be missing something, but I'm pretty sure I own everything.
Okay. Okay, I don't have that one.
It's called Command Attack Destroy. It's 15 7-inch on the, it says on the back here. 1 through 3, tracks 1 through 3 are from the Evil Army Bury the Living split 7-inch from 2004. I know I have that 7-inch too. 4 through 7 are from Conquer Human Life 7-inch. Pretty sure I have that one. 8 through 9 are Under the Attack 7-inch. That's the one you just showed, right?
Yeah.
So that EP's on here. 10 through 12 are from I Commander EP, which that's fucking great as well. And then 10 through 12, 13 through 15, outtakes from the self-titled Evil Army LP. So outtakes of it. So here's the back.
Awesome. Looks like that's going to be going in my Discogs cart.
Yeah, it's definitely a really good disc because, like I said, it's a lot of stuff just on CD. It probably came in through Hell's, but I don't remember picking it up. But it made sense because anything by Evil Army that would have came in, I would have picked up. Because, like I said, I love that fucking man.
Oh yeah, that was good shit. Good shit. Okay, here's another one. This is Goat Semen. Now this is a live album that they put out. That I can't see the catalog number on it, but
that's about 10 years ago. It seems like.
Probably more like.
Let's say the year on the check the spine.
Yeah,
is the year on the spine.
It's Hell's number 18.
It doesn't say the year though.
It was recorded in 2003, but I can't really see a date when this was released. But yeah, this is, sort of, I've always been a big fan of just that really nasty, like South American style. Anything with these guys? Like,
the only thing is, I never talked to them. That was definitely set up through Chase. My introduction with Goat Semen that I always liked. I liked that demo cover, that 2003, where the Christ is getting bent over and raped.
Yeah,
I thought it was super effective, but offensive to the average person, which is what I like. I like I like. So like, stuff like Deicide and stuff was always very appealing. I thought extreme metal should be offensive.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, the name like Goat Semen definitely.
Yeah, they defend it. So I remember that demo cover just being great. And then when Goat Semen first came out, I remember when that tape came out, we got to do that. Band flew out the door, and then their stock kind of fell a little bit. A lot of bands do. When we finally signed them, they still moved, but not like that. I wish it was like there was hype around them in that time, about 03, 05, something around there.
Yeah,
they don't have the same hype as they used to. But then when they got offered to work with us, then it was kind of a no-brainer, because it's funny because I think a lot of people, maybe people like yourself, that were a big fan of the Goat Semens, the Blasphemy, the Arch Goats, the Sarcophagos, things like that, assuming that the general public, the people that order from Hell's Headbangers and knew nothing about us personally, always assumed that was like my preferred style. And all I'm listening to is Blasphemy, Arch Goat, and Vaughn and stuff like that. And kind of surprised when I'm mentioning bands like Cannibal Corpse, Deicide, Hemorrhage, Vader. I'm like, that's more the stuff of what I listen to. I mean, I like some of that stuff. Like, I don't wrong. I love Sarcophago, Iron Eye, and stuff like that. But it's funny, a lot of the bestial stuff and the Goat Semens, I don't like a ton of bands in that style. I like some. I like something from every like kind of subgenre of the extreme metal. But I like more like Carcass worship bands, for example, than I do of like Sarcophago worship bands, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I just think that, and I could be wrong. I assumed that would surprise a lot of people. And I could be totally wrong on that. I just think what a lot of people think of Hell's Headbangers in their mind, they think bands like Goat Semen. So they think, oh, these guys, that must be all they listen to. You know what I mean? That was another band like Goat Semen, because it was a no-brainer. Like a sign, I'm like, this really represents Hell's Headbangers.
Yeah.
Because we were kind of Bestial Black and Dead, you know what I mean? Black, like kind of the label was kind of like known for that, even though that wasn't intentional at all. And it's like, meanwhile, I'm sitting there listening to fucking, Mortician all the time or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've seen you hype Pharmacist a lot on your channel, and I have all of their vinyl and CDs that they
Uh,
usually put out. I usually order the vinyl and CD. I
so do
like.
I, especially a band like that. I'll buy, like the Pharmacist, the last album, we did the LP of it, right? The Flourishing, whatever Extremities, second album.
Yeah,
The CD was put out by Seven Records. I had to buy that myself
yeah,
because for whatever reason, Chase has told me recently. I was like, what? It's like, he doesn't reply to me. What do you mean he doesn't reply to you? We trade with him all the time. No idea, man. Doesn't reply to emails no more. Like,
yeah,
wow. I was like, what'd you do? Did you piss him off? I don't know, man. I emailed him twice. He doesn't fucking reply. So, all right, well, I need one at least for myself. So I bought it on eBay.
yeah.
Somebody was selling it. And I bought it for whatever, $15, postage paid or whatever it was. I don't even care. I just bring it up to check it out, but pay. And then so I had, even though we did the vinyl release, I had to go still buy my personal copy to see. I was like, because I wanted it on CD, so I can listen to my car and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, and because I bought a lot of my Pharmacist from the band on Bandcamp.
Really? Where did it, question on that? Where did it ship from? Do you remember?
Japan.
Okay, it did come from Japan. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that there's some weird connection. Like one of the guys I think is in Europe, and
well, supposedly from my look, the one guy, the singer, basically the main guy, is actually Ukrainian, and it says the drummer's Japanese, and it shows no photo of the drummer, just only shows a photo of the singer guitar player. I guess he does bass too. It says he's from Ukraine, but I've heard through the grapevine, but he moved to Japan too.
Oh, okay.
So I think he lives in Japan, even though he's originally Ukrainian. Or me that band. It might have been even right when the first full length came out, or was right before. And Chase likes more. Chase loves the goat scenes, the blasphemies, and the arch goats, and he loves the Finnish black metal scene. So he's not huge on like the carcass worship stuff like that, but he kind of likes it. You know what I mean? Likes a little bit of it. And he sent me a link. He's like trying to sign these guys. Like, this is the best carcass worshiping band I've ever fucking heard. And I was like, all right. Well, so I clicked on the link. I listened. I'm like, I was like, this is fucking incredibly good. I was like, yeah, definitely sounds. I just want it for myself. I was like, because usually a new band like that coming out, I didn't enjoy. That happens very rarely. Most stuff when I put it out of a new band, I'm like, yeah, it's cool. It was a cool background listen. But as far as stuff where I'm like, I loved it. There's not many. There's not many at all.
Oh yeah, that I even said I did a video where I talked about them briefly. I think it was when I got the Hells release that you just put out, and I said they do Carcass worship better than Carcass.
Oh, 1,000%. Dude, even Dawn of the Dead from Nunslaughter, he was down moving some racks for us and help us because we got the new warehouse and a newer warehouse space in the same spot in September. And I put on Pharmacist for him. It's like, dude, this is what Carcass should be playing right now. I was like, I know. He's like, yeah. It's like, because that's why I like this. I was like, it literally feels like they never, if Carcass just did after Symphonies of Sickness, they just picked up where Pharmacist left, where Pharmacist is, it would have like, yeah, okay, cool. Like it would have perfectly fit.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, the Pharmacists are so good. But Carcass nowadays, the album cover with the zucchini and the bell pepper on it, we're not getting any of the old stuff anytime soon from them again.
No, I know. But as albums, and I've always said it, and people can crucify me all they want, but I admit it's like I actually like albums like Heartwork and Swan Song. I do like those records. I just think that they should have changed their name. I was like, they should have changed the band. They should have called it Carnal Forge or Buried Dreams or called it Heartwork or whatever. I was like, it's just not Carcass. But as melodic death and roll albums, I was like, I actually do like the albums. The only song I didn't like, because I liked pretty much every song from Swan Song on Heartwork, I just didn't like the song No Love Lost. I just like, man, the song's kind of, even though that's like, it's one of the hits.
Yeah.
Like I remember telling that to Matt Harvey from He's like, that's one. No, I was like, I just don't like it. I was like, with songs like Carnal Forge and Buried Dreams, and I was like, that shit was. I was like, it's all. The title track Heartwork, I think, is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, it is
very melodic. I was like, I love that shit. I was like, I don't know. I was like, dude, No Love. It's just, it almost makes my skin crawl. I was like, I don't like it.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah,
but I like Swan Song a lot too. I think Swan Song's a great.
It's just a good death rock, death roll album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, comparing it to Rika Putrefax or something, like, what the fuck are these guys doing? It's not the same band at all.
Yeah, they did a total 180 on their sound. All right, cool. How about I got another early Hells release?
Yeah, shoot it away. I'm curious what it is.
Now this one is still, I never opened it.
Okay.
It's Hell's number 3. It's the Bestial Mockery
Dude, that's
Destructor
hilarious.
10-inch.
Dude, that's so goddamn funny. Mine's the same way. I didn't open mine either.
Well, it says the razor wire is really fucking sharp.
It is. Dude, it
open
is.
it.
Eric's the one that Eric hand did those ones.
Yeah.
Because it was his idea. I'm like, dude, you're doing this one, man. I was like, this is just dangerous. That was all Eric, man. So if you like that, that's my brother Eric, all his idea.
Yeah.
And the reason I never opened mine, because the regular version is just the black vinyl, and it comes with just a regular 10-inch gatefold cover. So that's what I listen to. Because, dude, I like both bands, Destructor and Bestial Mockery.
Yeah.
But especially Bestial Mockery, dude, that first album, Christ Crushing Hammer Chainsaw, I'm a huge fan of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, this one,
I don't know if
well, let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Okay, because the first two Bestial Mockeries I'm a huge fan of, but especially the first one. And if you don't have the Die Hard Christ Crushing Chainsaw, I got it right behind me, the one with the chainsaw blade on it. I don't know if you're going to show that one next.
Ooh,
I was proud of that.
Okay, all right. So you know what I'm thinking I might do is an unboxing video where I crack this open and then give it a spin.
What you got to do, what people did do, and I think maybe Eric did it for his, is just get the 10-inch. You know how things come in polys. You get blank polys for your vinyl. Just get a couple 10-inch ones or a bunch to have on hand. When you cut off the saran wrap or whatever, put the cardboards will be protected. You don't have to worry about the risers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
That's that's the best way to do it if you're going to open it.
Yeah, awesome.
But that's so funny. My Die Hard one is just like yours. It's exact still shrink wraps.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of both bands too.
Same here.
Speaking of Bestial Mockery,
yeah, that's the album. So is that the picture disc, or no? The picture disc with the Die Hard version. That's the color vinyl. I have that one, and then I have the one above me. That is one of my favorite. What do you consider that? Do you consider that a black metal album? Because I just consider it a black metal album. I talked about it on my channel. What do you consider it?
There's something about bands from Australia where they can take a style of music and make it next level. And to them, they were maybe bestial black metal, but with a punk edge to them, possibly.
Well, are they from? They're not from Australia, though, are they? Bestial Mockery? Destructor is.
I'm pretty sure that they were from Australia or New Zealand or something like that.
Are they actually? To be honest with you, because there's Master. From what I know, the singer Master, he's like 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
And the reason why I didn't think they're from Australia is because my buddy Dave from Manicore, Void Meditation Cult, Sperm of Antichrist, he met him. He said they played with them, and I thought it was the country he was from, and I thought it was Sweden, maybe. You know what? I'm going to Metal Archives that right now. I think Bestial Mockery is from. I'm going to say Sweden. You're saying Australia?
Yeah.
I'm you might be mistaken. The Destructor, that they're definitely from Australia. That I know for 100% fact. But I think it's Sweden. Yep, Sweden. Yep.
Oh, they are from Sweden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because again, I knew because it was my buddy Dave. He said he's like, dude, he's like the singer. He's like really short.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, looking at the fucking photo too. There's a photo on Metal Archives, and Master's in the middle of the chainsaw. There's two guys beside him. Either those guys are giants, or he's like, because Dave from he's not a very tall guy either. I'm 5'9", and I'm noticeably tall. I'm like, oh shit. He's a really little guy, but he met him when they played in Sweden. Yeah. So that's why it stuck in my mind.
Okay. All right.
But I never got to see them. I would love to. I love the first two records. The third album I thought was good, not great. And then the fourth album to me was kind of like a comeback, which we got to put out. Was it Slaying the Life? I love that too. And then the 10-inch we did was good. And then did they do a 7? Did they have a 7-inch?
They did. Let's see here.
Most of their stuff, everything I liked, but most of it I was a huge fan of.
Yeah. So now this one, Christ Crushing Hammer Chainsaw. You have the Die Hard.
Yeah, you want to? Do you want to see it?
I want to see that. Time to.
Yeah, it's right because it's right behind me. It's up. See my CD rack?
Yeah.
It sits on top of it because it's got a chainsaw blade on it.
So so I bet the shipping for that was probably an arm and a leg.
This is at least a couple pounds it weighs, but yeah.
Oh man. Oh, so it has the entire blade.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But so it was the so I'll open it up. It was only 100 of these made, and it was the picture disc version, and it comes with the same gatefold cover that you just showed.
Uh-huh.
So I have that. I have that colored vinyl that you just showed. The one you have, I have that, and then I have this. This was the picture disc with different artwork,
Okay. All right.
and here's the back.
Nice, nice, nice. And I gotta tell you too, this poster that it came with is really well done, and the glossy cover, for this printing, everything looks great on it.
Yeah, yeah. No, that was one. Because I'm perfectly honest about it. I don't care. There's nothing I think Hell's has ever put out that I thought that I was ashamed of or thought embarrassing. But I'll be completely honest. I'm not a fan of everything we've done. Part of the reason I'm not a fan of everything we've done, you got to understand, like we said at the very beginning, there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
So sometimes Chase really want to sign something too. Is part of his like, there's bands we're kind of friends with. And I'm like, his band's okay, but it's like we'll put it out to help him out. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So not everything am I a huge fan of, but like stuff like that, Bestial Mockery, I'm very proud of the work of because I was a huge fan. Because I have the original LP of that too. Have you ever seen the original LP?
No.
Let me bust it out. Show you. I think it's on like orange vinyl or something. But I have the very original. I don't remember what label did it. To be honest, but we'll look at it together.
Oh yeah. All right. So this is we're gonna be learning something new today about the origins of Bestial Mockery.
Yeah, here it is. So I owned this on vinyl and CD, just like my CD pressing. I have the Hell's pressing, and I have the original, and I had this. So I was already a huge fan of them before Hell's got to work with them. It's on Metal Blood Music, Sweden. That sounds like a fucking, I don't even know.
Okay. Oh wow, so it's a completely different cover.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Is it totally different? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, totally different. Yep.
Okay,
And
so
the
now,
backside is totally different.
yeah.
But I think it's on like an orange type vinyl. Let's see. It's got no insert. Oh yeah. So here's the color vinyl on it. Check this shit out.
Got a nice orange splatter.
Yeah. So this was the original LP. And like I said, I owned this before we worked with them. So stuff like that when we got to, work with them. But this was like chintzy too, because there's no insert, there's no lyrics or nothing. It's just a pocket. So our version was nicer, but I wanted to this is what I owned before we even worked with them. So any of the stuff of a band, if I was a big fan of the band previous to working with them, those were always my favorite releases to work with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Awesome. Yeah, because I think that album that they put out in, or which one is it? Evoke the Desecrator. I have the CD for that one.
Yeah, that's the second one, right?
Yeah.
That's great too. Osmos recently reissued that about a year ago. They did that one, and my least favorite is Gospel the Insane. That's the third one. It's good. At first, when Gospel the Insane came out, I didn't like it for a while. I picked it up and I just shelved it. But I went back to it. I'm like, it's good. I was like, it's good. But when Slaying the Life, the last album they did, which we were the ones that put it out, I liked it instantly. Because I remember when I heard Bestial Mockery, they got their next sound. I was like, this is fucking great. And that's part of the reason I went back to Gospel Insane is because I really liked Slaying the Life. And as I listen to it more, I'm like, it's good. You know what I mean? But it's just not first 2 albums.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it looks like, in 2020, it looks like, maybe there was a reissue. But it looks like maybe 2003 was the last time that they put anything out. I guess they're just not around anymore.
Oh, Bestial Mockery?
Yeah.
No, they did stuff after 2003 because fucking what's the last album? Had have been that. I mean, Slaying the Life was the last album they did. That was 2007, and we put that out.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm looking at Encyclopedia, the Metal Archives here. But okay.
Yeah, Christ Hammer Chainsaw first album, that's 2002. Evoke the Destructor 2003. Gospel the Insane in 2006. And Slaying the Life is 2007. After that, they did a bunch of splits and split 7-inch. I forgot about this. We did a split 7-inch with Carnarium. Forgot all about that. We put that up. I have that. Split 7-inch on Carnarium, 2008 on Hell's Headbangers. Unholy Ancient Wars, the last split they did, it looks like, on Old Cemetery Records. Oh, I remember this is a CD. It's a split with Manticore, Obesiance, and Witch King, 4-way split CD. That looks like the very last thing they put out, and that was 2017.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Bit of a time, so gap in time there from 2008 to 2017.
Yeah, and then what they're doing now, like Master, that's his name, Master and Mortar Sag, or how the fuck you, I don't even know, like, what is he even doing anymore? I have no idea.
Probably working at Whole Foods or
From
something
what I
like.
heard from what I heard to the grapevine too, and I don't that I'm not sure that I can't vouch for. I heard he had a pretty big drug problem too. Fucking
Okay.
idiot.
I think for some of those guys who kind of,
That came out. That's literally came out of their own mouths. So Evil Army, I know it's true. They point blank said it in many interviews.
yeah,
But Bestial Mockery, I think I've heard that secondhand down the grapevine. So that I don't know if it's true. So don't quote me on that.
yeah. It wouldn't surprise me.
Oh yeah, no, especially the metal scene. Of course not. Fuck
Yeah,
no.
definitely.
It's funny, dude, because you know how I come from. I'm just as involved in the bodybuilding scene
Yeah,
as I am in the metal scene, right? And a lot of people in the bodybuilding scene, they talk about there's the guys that are kind of like older, they've been in it for a while, so they kind of discourage the young youth. They kind of talk about how the scene's fucked up, and you know how there's a lot of the drug use and the partying and
right.
just the dark side of it, right? But I laugh because I'm in both. I'm like, well, there's a dark side to everything. You think it's Hollywood? You think there's not a dark side of that? And I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, dude, the dark side of fucking metal scene is way darker than the bodybuilding scene. So
Oh
it's just
yeah.
funny because it's a lot, all, especially the partying and shit. And there's guys that'll do gay for pay, for money, shit. Like there's shit that that people have no idea. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But so they talk about the negatives, like, yeah, not everybody's doing it. I was like, but dude, yeah, you ever hear of sex, drugs, rock and roll? Come to that scene, man.
I
Like,
know.
it's it's way less clean than that. So, but you hear the negative Nancy's talking about. I'm just laughing. I'm like, man, you guys are a bunch of fucking pussies. I
I
was like, yeah,
kind of. Yeah, because I've thought about that too. Is because I've never been in a band. I've never played any instruments.
neither have I.
I've always been like the consumer when it comes
Same
to
here.
music,
Same here.
and
Yeah.
I like being the consumer. I'm not
Dude,
motivated to
Jim,
pick up a guitar.
dude, fucking Jim Sadis, Kanye, man. He was the one that came up with it, dude. This was back in the early 2000s, man. He's got to be spinning in his grave right now. It's like with the bands, it's like that's what he liked about me and my roots with the scene. He's like, there's too many bands, not enough fans.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, 100% it is, dude. Because everybody wants to be in a band and shit. And again, none of these fucking jerk offs even buy shit at shows and stuff. They just buy beer and party. I'm like, dude, are you even a fan of this stuff? See, I love seeing shit like behind you. You have a collection. You're in, you know what I mean? You're into it. I mean, like, that's your hobby. It's your interest. That's the way it should be. That's the people I more connect with. You have something in common with,
Yeah. Yeah, and also too, I've thought about this is, when guys play, and you talk about this on your channel a lot, when guys have been in the scene for, 20, 30 years, metal to them is just a 9 to 5 job.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
They're not
100%.
listening to metal in their
No,
car, and I think if I was a musician,
heck,
I've known a
dude.
lot of musicians, and over the years they get boring with their taste in music where they're listening to, I mean, it's
Yep.
good stuff like a lot of old classic rock and stuff, but they're
Yeah,
not into the extreme stuff that they used to
no.
be in.
Yeah, I know. And I just don't get that. It just doesn't make sense. I understand maybe not wanting to check tons of new bands out, kind of like, because I'm kind of getting there too. So it's like, I've heard it
Yeah.
all. But it's like, but you don't like the classics still? You don't listen to like what the bands you grew up on, the Possessed, the Massacres, the Deaths, the whatever. If you made it to the 90s, the Suffocations, the Sinisters, like you don't. I don't know. That's it to me doesn't make sense. Like to me, putting on Vader and just being like, this sucks. I just don't get it. Like
Yeah.
I honestly I just don't get it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I think part of it too is just being a grumpy old man. And whenever the kids start getting popular and stuff, we're just like, nah, fuck them. They don't know
Yeah,
what
but
it was
again,
like
but
back in the
that's
day.
true. That's true. But at the same time, they can always just go back to the guys that are their age, the bands that were around that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But them get not liking the Seguizio Bogs, the Two Molds, and all these newer bands, these younger bands. That's just jealousy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And me, it's just a lot of those bands. I was like, just didn't do much for me. On disc, I still got to check out on audio Frozen Soul because live I liked them. I thought they sounded good, but I've yet to listen to them on audio. Like, because did you hear me? Did you see my video talking about Frozen Soul? I coursed through them under the bus a little bit too.
Yeah, I think I did, and I've seen an interview with them before too, and they're definitely young performers.
because live, my only complaint was, dude, the guy talking in between songs, the singer, you literally thought if you would have been blindfolded, you would have thought you were at a Limp Bizkit show the way the guy was talking
Yeah.
in between songs. But when they start up the music, I'm like, I thought his vocals were good. The bass sounded fucking awesome. Now it could have been just at the fucking venue. And I was like, this sounds like a mix of Bolt Thrower trying to play like Swedish death metal. And the songs were really catchy.
Mm-hmm.
But to date, I haven't listened to it on audio yet. I just haven't. But 2 reasons. One, we had them hand over fist in Hells, and then they sold out by the time I thought to check it out. And 2, to be completely honest, I just kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big guy. When I really want to check something out, unless it's just to check it out for a business, hey, get a quick idea if you like this or not. I don't like YouTube and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's just through my laptop. I want to hear it through speakers and like experience it. Because I feel like if you're like, oh, this was good, well, then I guess you would check it out further if you thought it was good. But more so, if you thought it was not so good, you really didn't give it an honest listen, you know? So part of me, I don't like it because live, I liked this, but I don't know if it's going to translate on studio at all. I've yet to, but I'll check it out.
Yeah, I've been meaning to check them out, but again, it's the thing, too many bands, and there is like a modern sound that I'm kind of bored with, sort of that cavernous sort of, death metal sound that's that a lot of the modern bands have.
So you haven't heard Frozen Soul either?
I haven't listened to it, no.
Okay, like I said, I will say this because they opened up for Napalm Death, and this was like 6 months ago or so, and I was there. And live, I'm like, again, it could have been just because the way maybe it was at the venue, the bass especially. I'm like, it sounded really cool.
Yeah,
like they stood out where I'm like, I thoroughly enjoy this. Yeah. Like I said, but I'm like, in the back of my mind, I was like, how is it going to translate? I was like, it's just gonna be a stale fucking recording on audio. That remains to be seen. I don't know. Yeah. But live, I was pretty impressed with.
Yeah, cool, awesome. I will. I'll definitely check them out this weekend. Been wanting to do that. All right, cool. How about, well, since we were on the topic of Destructor, and now Destructor are a band that I've always really liked them, and I haven't seen anything recent from them. Now this is the diehard of Nailed, yeah, and it came with the back patch, and one thing that I always thought was really weird with this.
I'm gonna laugh my ass off. It's the same thing that I thought. But say it. Go ahead. I'll let you say it first.
They had to write my name on the center label.
Oh, your name's on it?
Yeah.
Why's your name on it?
I have number 97 out of 111.
Oh, is that the one? Dude, I forgot. Did we hand name each one?
Where is it?
We did do that for something. Was that?
Yeah, right here, side C. My name had to be written on the center label when I bought it.
Yeah, I remember that vaguely. I think that was Glenn's idea. I forget why.
I guess, when you find a crate of old records from the 70s and people used to write their names on them for some reason, maybe.
Yeah.
Lost and
found. It's kind of a cool idea. I forgot, dude. I completely forgot about that. What year did that record come out? I don't remember. Seems like forever ago. Does it say on the spine? Oh, you have horrible eyes. I'll just Metal Archives it.
2009. It's
okay.
Hell's,
that sounds about right. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
it's Hell's number 39. So and one thing that I really liked what you guys did with this is you did the 45 RPM double LP version, and then there was also a 33. I always buy the double LP versions.
That was always Glenn from the band. That was his idea. See, the thing I didn't like about Nailed, the only thing I didn't like about it, and again, because I asked Chase, I'm like, what the fuck's up with this when I first heard it, is the sound is very low.
Yeah.
Did you notice that you had to crank it to hear it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that he's like, that's what Glenn wanted. I'm like, why the fuck did he want that? And I forget what he said. But that was my only complaint when I was like, oh man, it kind of sounds like shit. But other than that, was good. And then I love the album after, the Opprobrium or whatever that we did.
That one's really good. Yeah, I have the CD for that one. I also
favorite thing. I don't know if you're familiar with. I have this. My favorite thing by Destructor is their Brutal Desecration 7-inch. And I specifically said to Chase, I was like, I want to do a 7-inch picture disc of this. And I've been telling him that for 10 years. And he kind of said kind of blew me off, kind of said somebody else is doing it. Forget what the reason was, but this has been said for the last 10 years easily. But that's my favorite thing, the Brutal Desecration 7-inch. I love that.
I think
That's it. Yep.
Yeah, this one's really good. Really awesome stuff. I also have this one, Nuclear Storm,
That's
12
correct.
inch.
Dude, the Nuclear Store. So I don't know if you remember the CD of that, because we put out the CD first. The first release we ever did was Spawn of Satan Blood 6 split 7-inch. I'm not 7-inch split CD. Second release was Core Horror Abigail split CD, and I'm almost positive the third release we ever did was the Destructor Nuclear Storm on CD. So this is like we're still living. When we did the Destructor Nuclear Storm on CD, we were literally still living in our mom and dad's house.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Okay, so that's going way back. I have the Nuclear Storm CD and the Nailed CD. I just can't remember. Now, you guys didn't put this one out. This wasn't on your label.
No,
I don't think.
No, dude. I like right to this day. I want to do a 7 since there's already a 7-inch. I want to do a 7-inch picture disc, and I want to do T-shirts of that too because I fucking love that art.
Oh yeah, there is a T-shirt that I have that I think maybe it was
of
the
that
Nailed
art
cover.
Oh yeah, nail. Yeah, we don't have nail shit stuff. I've never seen T-shirts of that. Not saying they don't exist. I've just never seen one.
Yeah, I'm too fat to wear it now, but I still have it. I'm hoping one day to maybe this summer I'm going to start getting on the treadmill or something. And
man, you gotta start. Dude, you gotta watch my videos, man. You start every morning off, first thing off, doing cardio. That's how I start every morning, dude. Every morning I get up, I brush my teeth, I do 30, 45 minutes cardio 7 days a week, every single day. That's how I start my day. Then I have my breakfast. Gets my day. It sounds fucked up, but dude, once you do it for weeks and weeks straight, you'll never want to go back. You have more energy, you feel better, everything's loosened up, you're just ready to roll.
I've gone through phases where I did get up at 5 a.m. and I would go to Planet Fitness and get it, but I fall off of the bandwagon so easily.
Yeah. Most people, I know. Most people do. Yeah.
But no, just wait. This year, definitely. I'm in a new city, new lifestyle. So
so you moved recently?
Yeah, I used to live in North Carolina, but I moved to Chicago this past
that's a pretty
summer.
big that's a pretty big move, dude.
Yeah.
You're moving out of state ever is always what's the reason you moved? Was it for job, career,
or got a job offer out here? So and it's definitely good for supplementing the vinyl and CD habit that I have. So
it's the job.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not married, no kids, nothing like that?
No.
Never been married?
No, not married, no kids. I've chosen the childless bachelor lifestyle, and I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, honestly, dude, everything has its cons and pros, but dude, it's not a bad thing.
No, it's definitely not, and I'm saving a hell of a lot of money too.
Yes, that you will.
I have a cat who's a pain in the ass, and
I have 4 cats.
Wow.
Dude, dude, I'm like that. They're like my favorite thing in the world, though. So I'm like, dude, I'm that crazy guy. If I was a billionaire, if I won all this money, I would literally open up like a profitless like cat shelter.
Oh yeah,
I'm that type of person. You know
me too. Me too. I've always cared more about animals than a lot of other things.
People fucking suck shit.
Yeah.
Persons are good. People suck.
My cat, he's I've never like now because like you talk about religion and stuff. Do you come from a religious family, or did you have that when you were a kid?
I mean, we're born and raised Catholic, and we were forced to go to PSR, aka it's like Saturday school for Catholicism. So I have a decent background in it, so I know it's not like I talk my ass. I've read the entire Holy Bible, and I've also read the entire Satanic Bible. You know what I mean? So I know both, and so when I talk about it, it comes from my problem with religion is that most people aren't into it because they're into it. They're into it because that's how they were born and raised, so they don't fucking question anything.
Right.
I have no problem if somebody believes in what they believe and they don't force it down anyone's throats. You know what I mean? They keep it to themselves. Just like, for example, I'm not a prejudiced person. If you're Christian, I dislike you. No, I dislike the fucking religion itself because it's so hypocritical. Most of these Christians, in their book, it says you are not supposed to judge. You're supposed to leave that up to the higher up, the Almighty God, right? But they're the most judgmental motherfuckers you'll ever meet. You know what I mean? So it's more so the hypocrisy and the sheer fucking stupidity that bothers me about it.
Yeah, my grandfather, he converted and became ultra religious, and it got to be the type of thing where just having a discussion with him would somehow end up becoming about politics or religion and being judgmental and stuff. And I've seen that. I mean, I've never had religion in my life. My parents, zero religion. Like, we're not even atheists. Like, we just don't have anything to do with any of it.
That's the best way. You know what I mean? That's definitely the best way.
Yeah.
Because there's no proof to it at all anyways. So why get all mad and fucking just even devote a lot of your time that's limited here as is, to something you don't even have any proof of?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you really break it down like that, it doesn't make any sense. And the political people, dude, ever since fucking Donald Trump became president, dude, the political people annoy me more than ever.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's because it's the division on both sides. It's like, dude, that's the thing is I don't care if you're a Trump supporter or not a Trump supporter. I was like, makes difference. Either side is annoying. They're both annoying because they both hate on each other. And it's the biggest batch of fucking stupidity I've ever seen. So to me, if you follow politics, we're probably not going to get along too well. Again, unless you just keep it to yourself, because I don't dislike somebody if they're into politics, but if they want to talk to me about it, it's like, I didn't fucking, dude, I know people, I'm not going to mention any names. They'll just start talking about shit. Well, dude, I was like, we weren't even talking. It just gets brought up. I was like, what the fuck, man? I didn't ask. I don't care.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. And it's by a couple people bring it up. So to me, it's almost disrespectful. That's like me going up to like a family member, an aunt or uncle, know they're Christian, and just start ripping on Christ for no reason. They didn't even bring Christ up. You know what I mean? That to me is borderline disrespectful. Like, okay, well, he's Christian. He goes to church. Why are you talking about something that's going to make him feel uncomfortable he doesn't want to hear about?
Yeah.
And the people that talk about politics around me that know me, it's like, dude, I hate this topic and you keep bringing it up. Just completely random when it had no reason to be brought up.
It's the people who need to fish for an argument to feel validated in their belief.
100% what it is. 100%.
The thing that always cracked me up are the people who were alcoholics, were abusive, were drug addicts, but then they become born again to straighten out their life. But now they're the most judgmental person that you'll ever
meet. That's what's hilarious. I'm like, why is the people that become ultra religious some fucking whack job? It's the Son of Sam serial killer, literally, who he was another one. Or alcoholics, drug addicts. Exactly. Yeah. I was like, dude, why is it like never anybody that's fucking sensible?
Right. Yeah. Seriously. And because in my family, my grandfather became super right-wing, born again. My mother, very left-wing, very progressive. But both of them, they do the same thing, but from their angle, where it's like, let's find something to argue about, all that type of shit.
I truly believe it's because these people have no lives and that their entertainment is bickering and fucking finding something to bitch about.
Oh, yeah. 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 And that's the thing, too. And you mentioned this on your channel the other day about, you don't know anybody who's 87 and listens to brutal metal. Old people nowadays didn't grow up with metal, but we're from the generation that did grow up with metal. So I could see myself being 87 and still listening to sick metal. It's been such a part of my life for so long. I just don't see myself getting out of it.
No, we will be, but you might have missed the point. The thing is because what I was trying to explain is metal in the all in all is still in its infancy. The reason there's no 87-year-olds listening to it is because theoretically, when I use Cannibal Corpse as the example, 1990, right? You would have had to been 54 years old buying Eaten Back to Life then, and then still be alive and stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, a 54-year-old hearing Eaten Back to Life, especially death metal, was very new at that time.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be like almost a shock. The odds of them liking it is slim to none. Now, I believe someone like yourself or myself, if we live to be 87 years old, will still like it. But when you got into it, you were much, much younger. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just like I think there's a chance of a kid getting into it today and him making it to 87 the year fucking whatever, 20, what the fuck year will you be in? 20, what, I don't know, what would it be? Yeah, whatever the hell it'll be in 80 years.
Right.
Whatever new generation that'll be. There's a possibility because then it's going to be kind of normal. I truly believe too, dude, in another 60 years or so, stuff like Cannibal Corpse, Deicide, these guys will be long dead at this point. I'm not going to say it's going to be classic rock, but it's going to be a much more respected musical genre because it's going to be like, oh, it's been around for 100 years. Wow, look how like talented these guys were, and they ahead of their time, like growling vocals and exists. Not saying I want that because to be honest, I prefer it out of the fucking public eye, but I think it's going to get there. I really do. I already kind of see it in the business world. had this discussion slightly with my brothers and shit like that, as far as like physical format, what happens if it dies off, et cetera, et cetera. But then you'll sell digital, so it's really nothing to worry. I was like, dude, I was like, telling you, metal is bigger than ever because of social media and easy to get into, and just people, it's more accepted now. I was like, it's literally to the point where albums like Left Hand Path, Altars of Madness, Deicide, it's almost classic rock at this point.
Right.
To the point where they're just like such classic albums, they've almost reached that status at this point. And in 20 years from now, imagine what it'll be. And so what I'm getting at with that being said, anyone that gets into it, which is always a new 15-year-old every year, just getting into this, they're going to be almost feel obligated, almost rightfully so, that they have to own those records. So there's always going to be demand. Mm-hmm. And as long as we're the guess who's selling them, us.
Yeah.
So as a business conversation, that's kind of how we're talking. I'm like, dude, all these are becoming, I'm like, there's always going to be demand for this shit. I mean, dude, 30 years from now, people are still going to be buying Dismember like an ever-flowing stream. They just are.
Yeah, I've thought about this too, because I look at a lot of things from like the business point of view, and I have a feeling that I feel like Gen Z, the kids who are in their early 20s, late teens, it just doesn't feel like a music generation with them. It seems like they're more caught up in gaming and social media, and music to them is just something for, in the background. And that's where I kind of think that maybe physical format might die off or, just lose popularity with Gen Z because they just don't come off as being a music generation.
Well, so here's the deal. The way I see it, for starters, always keep this in mind, because I kind of fell into that thinking too when you're talking about the modern society. Whatever topic you're going to use when you're talking about the youngins, always try to single out social media. When people talk about a lot of things now, whether it be the youngins or they're talking about whatever political topics are coming on, or topics you're not supposed to be talking about, censorship, freedom of speech, all that shit, when you really break it down, it's all social media related. And what I'm getting at, you go out in the real world, and how do I know? Because the people you exactly mentioned, 15 to 20 years old, I bump into them. They're at my gym all the time.
Yeah.
They're not as different as you think when you get out there, or there's definitely ones that aren't. Let's just say that. Mm-hmm. So it's just all this social media garbage that's kind of cluttering it up. Just like when you're talking about, when they're talking about all these transgenders and shit like that. Dude, how many have you ever actually personally met? It's a very, very small. It seems like it's very common because it's all over social media and the media. Mm-hmm. I'm like, dude, I met maybe like 2 in my entire life. Where are they all at? I go out. I don't see them every fucking where. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I come from, and I've talked about this in my comedy and stuff before, because I come from, my parents are lesbians. So I have 2 moms, and which is also why they're also very, very progressive and left-wing.
Sure.
I've been around the LGBT community for most of my life. And when it comes to meeting transgender people, I've met very, very few. I knew some when I lived in New York doing stand-up. I knew 2 transgender comedians, transgender women. But I just, or maybe the ones I've met once, but they were just very convincing. And I just,
you didn't know. You know, what's funny about this topic? I vaguely talked about it on today's video recorded. It got brought up how how my fucking videos go. I read off the comments and it just stems who the fuck knows where. But it's funny. Let's just go. I mean, you can watch the video, but I've known people that have been over to Thailand, for example. And this whole transgender thing has been going on for well over 30 years.
The lady boys.
Bullshit, that it's extremely common over there.
Yeah.
They're kind of like, it's like, I know guys that go on, they're like, dude, they're pretty much laughing in America. It's how they're outraged and shit because it's just so normal. And 30 years from now in America, it's just gonna be normal. It's just, it's new, and it's new, and people, since it's new, they don't understand it. It's comic books. People fear what they don't understand.
And social media is a big part of that, because a lot of that just portrays the anger and the rage.
Dude, it's funny. I talked about that child too. That what that is, dude, that's the higher ups, whoever it is. That's their agenda to push division, for us to hate on each other, because the real enemy, in my opinion, is the government. Doesn't matter what side you're on. The government is legal mafia, and they don't want us, we the people, fighting with the government. So what do you need? You need a distraction. So while they're over here fucking us in the ass without the lube, look over here and fight with each other. So they don't have time. We don't have time to fight with the government. So they create these agendas for us to fight over.
Kind of just, the lingering effects of all of it. It's part of a reason why I've never went to law school, and I'm not into politics or anything. I'm like, I'm just going to sit in my room with my vinyl collection
Yeah, that's what I did. I just pay attention to that's. It's funny because people laugh at how out of the loop I am, and I never did that intentionally, but I'm proud that I did. Like, because I don't follow all any of this crap. I was like, dude, I don't even want to be in the loop. Just pay attention to the things that you like, and that's it. Because all you're doing is creating unjust stress to yourself for things you can't control. That it's like, why are you even following this anyways? Just get a hobby of things that enjoy you and make you happy. Just stick. The only reason I even hear about it is because jackasses bring it up to me. Dude, I don't watch the news. I don't listen to the radio. I don't listen to podcasts that talk about the shit. I do listen to some podcast stuff, but it's not any time. It's just literally it's on topics that I enjoy. I don't listen to any of that crap. I don't want to know, dude. I literally want to be the person. If somebody walks up to me and say, "Hey, who's the president of the United States?" I don't even know. I want to be that guy because I don't want to know because it doesn't fucking matter.
When I was younger, I was involved with where I lived at the time, the street crew for Howard Dean when he was running for president, and he was a very progressive candidate at the time. But then I single-handedly watched the media just tear him apart because he had a policy that somehow would have negatively impacted how the media, the mainstream media, benefited from something. So then the media just tore him apart. And to me, the real enemy is the media.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I thought he was a great candidate for president, and he had a strong, domestic partnership was, again, me having gay parents, the domestic partnership was important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he had, Vermont, first state to acknowledge all of that. And then the media just absolutely destroyed his chances of getting, becoming the candidate for the Democrats at the time. And since then, I was a very angry person because I was just that consumed by politics. Where then after that, I'm like, you know what? The media is the real problem. I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to do my part, but I'm not going to preach or fish for arguments with anyone.
Yeah. The way any of it's too. That's why I know the big reason I'll follow is because I'm like, it's not my control. I was like, it doesn't matter what my opinion is. It doesn't matter what I like, what I don't like. I was like, I have no control over that. And the funny thing is there's a lot of things in this world that you are in control of that are going to cause you pain, problems, financial stress, etc. that you can't control. And a lot of people, they don't focus on those. I'm like, why are you focusing on things that you can't control? Things are like, for example, your own income, your own health, your relationship, whatever you have. Those things you can control.
Yeah.
Things are the major world problems. It's like there's nothing you can do anyways. I was like, what's going to happen is going to happen. So I choose not to let that cause me any stress whatsoever because I have no control over it anyways.
Yeah, it's a good outlook to have, definitely. All right, so going back to Bestial Mockery, you guys didn't put this one out, but this is another 7-inch that I have by them. That's pretty sick.
It's funny. I think that might be the first release I got by Bestial Mockery. It might be the first thing I picked up. Is either that or Christ Crushing Hammer Chainsaws, one or the other.
Looks like it was put out by an Italian label, Warlord Records.
I remember when we got those in, it was through Hell's, and that's how I got my copy. What's that one called?
A Sign of Satanic Victory.
I'm gonna Metal Archives that, see what the year is. I'm trying to think if that's before or after the first album.
I'm kind of wondering too about the album cover of where in modern times are there skulls mounted on bamboo sticks?
It was the same year as 2002, the same year as the full length. So yes, this is the first thing I picked up. This is how I first heard Bestial Mockery. Didn't even realize that until you know what, man? When we sign off here, I'm gonna bust some of these out and re-listen to them because I'm gonna bust out the Destructor Bestial Mockery split again. I'm gonna bust out that 7-inch because a few of these I haven't listened to in quite some time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna re-put them on the goddamn player.
Awesome. And then let's see here, because I don't want to hold you up too much longer, but I just have a few more things to kind of look at. One person who I've really started to kind of respect a lot in the underground metal is Gene from Angel Corpse.
Gene Pablucki, or however you say his name. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Pablo Whiskey. It's a wonderful Polish name. I'm Polish. I could say it.
It's funny. Maybe at Metal Threats, I might get an interview with him too.
Oh, really?
Well, maybe. To be honest with you, the Metal Threat, I'm gonna be completely fucking 100% honest with you, man. I'm more so on the fence of not wanting to go. And the reason being is because just look at all the ups and downs. One, it's a 6-hour drive. I'm going to miss a day of work. And dude, missing a day for work for me isn't like take a day off. It's just like, okay, great. Now it's piled on my shoulders for when I get back, I got to do it. It just doesn't get done. So it's only makes things more stressful for me. I was like, majority of the bands that I like, who I'm looking forward to seeing, but only looking forward to seeing them because I think they're only playing songs from the first 3 albums.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to me knowing that, I'm like, I mean, dude, they're going to play what, a bunch of songs from the last 10 albums I don't know or care about. So I wasn't too excited about that. And the only band I was really excited about seeing at Metal Threat is Morgul. And that's because I've never seen them. And I'm a big fan of Morgul. But at Perdition Temple stuff I've seen. So, so the main reason I'm going, I was like, is for want to see Morgul. Eric, my brother, is going to be vending. So I was like, yeah, at least I'll have a place to sit in case in between bands and shit like that. Because when we vend, I at least have a chair. God damn it!
Okay, so you'll have a table set up.
Yeah. Because Eric's vending no matter what. He was already going to go no matter what. And he's like, well, why don't you get some interviews and shit for your channel? I was like, you know what? Like Sadistic Intent, the Cortez brothers, that would be cool. I'd love to interview them. I was like, Morgul, if they speak good enough English, put in Gene in there from Perdition. I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. That's the main reason I'm going.
Yeah.
Because outside that, like I said, majority of the stuff, there's bands. I was like, I've seen them before. Like, I love Macabre. Macabre's playing, but I was like, I've seen Macabre a million times. It's not. I'm not driving it down. I was like, okay, the only one I haven't ever actually seen is Morgul. Because I've even seen Sinister. I've seen Sinister in 1999. So, yeah. So technically, I was like, yeah, there's a lot of good shit playing. I was like, but I've seen most of them. So yeah, the main goal is to get some interviews. But the thing is, dude, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, because you got to remember, some of these guys might say no. I may not see them. They may be fucking busy. They're like, another time, or it's too fucking loud. You know what I mean? Bands playing, like, there's not a quiet area to do it. So I don't really know what to expect, but it's hoping for the best,
Yeah, where the venue is at in Lombard, it's really kind of just a lot of strip malls. I'd imagine that there's probably a Hampton Inn or a Residence Inn that they're all staying at.
I'd imagine. We're staying in we already have our Airbnb booked. I think it's 10 minutes away. My wife booked it, so I don't even know.
Yeah.
So,
well, the thing, going back to Gene, I never used to really pay attention to mastering engineers or anything like that. But then I'm realizing I'm looking back through so many albums, and Gene like mastered so many sick albums. Like, I just did a video fairly recently about this Abhorrence album.
Dude, that's probably the #1 release that I want Hells to do on vinyl.
Oh my god, it's never been on vinyl.
Ever. Never.
Yeah. This album, it was mastered by
I was
Gene
talking
and
to
Eric
Gene. I mentioned that on my channel last year, and Gene commented on it because Gene's the one that originally put that out. But Listenable owns it now, and he says, yes, you have the second pressing. That's the Listenable Records one.
Yeah.
So here, I'll show you the very first pressing of it is Gene's label. Gene actually released that as well.
Evil something, I think is what it was called.
Evil Vengeance Records. See?
Yeah. Oh, okay, right.
But so I asked Gene about it, and basically, from what I've heard, is that Listenable says they're planning on doing it now.
Oh, really?
So we'll see. But I've been talking about doing that I contacted Listenable Records probably well over 10 years ago about us doing it. And basically they said yes. Long story short, and I've told this on the channel, they said yes, but he's like, I don't have any of the files. So he basically wants me to scan the CD, and he wanted 25%. So basically, if we put out 1,000 LPs, he gets 250 free copies to do nothing. So I was like, let me get this straight, man. You want me to scan the CD, making it look like a fucking bootleg, basically, because it's a full color cover. Scanning from a CD is gonna be kind of fuzzy, blowing it up to 12 inches. You want me to do that? You literally do jack fucking shit, nothing whatsoever, supply nothing, and you get 250 free copies.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fucking bullshit.
Right.
So that's why I never came out.
This and you should check out on my channel. I have a video because I have all of the Abhorrence releases, so I do kind of a deep dive on all of their splits and everything. I would absolutely love to see this on vinyl, but if it's just going to be just a CD to vinyl, some flimsy, I mean, I'll end up buying it, but I'd prefer to get the Hells treatment on this.
Yeah. What I wanted to do, my idea was, I'd like it on like a gatefold cover, put it out on vinyl, like some type of colored vinyl, and I'd like to do the first 100 copies on a picture at the same time.
Yeah,
that's what I would like. That was my vision.
What goes into, and I'm curious about this. I know you're a big colored vinyl guy.
Mm-hmm.
I like black vinyl. I like 180 gram black vinyl. What goes into deciding, okay, you're going to release a run of say 1,000 albums? How do you decide, okay, this number of picture disc, this is a splatter, and then this is on black?
Honestly, kind of just pull it out of your ass in a sense.
Yeah.
There's some thought process behind it. For example, picture disc. I don't have that one.
Mm-hmm.
That one I don't have that pressing. But no, so picture discs don't sell as well. So generally speaking, 100, keeping them more limited. That way it's kind of cool. Right. And then the black vinyl to color vinyl, the difference between those, it's sometimes up to the band or whatever the band's like, just choose. Color vinyl generally sells better. So it's nice to say first 100 on black for people like yourself. Yeah. And it's more limited. So that's kind of the thought process, but it's somewhat pulling a number out of your ass, but a little bit more educated than.
Okay, yeah, because I just
basically
got
a set in stone formula at the moment.
Yeah, I've noticed that the thing that does piss me off though is that there are some labels that aren't even pressing black anymore. It's like they're only doing colored vinyl, and like Relapse is one where it's just all colored vinyl now. But
the reason they're doing it because it does sell better. It just does. They sell better.
I like that you're making black the more limited version because I just got both of these.
Oh yeah, were those the ones we just redid because they just came in. Oh, so you already got your pack. Like those just came in like 5-6 days ago.
Oh yeah,
like when we got them in.
And I love this album, by the way, but it's I bought the black and the colored. But
Well, both.
I like to see that it's 300 on black, but
so that was 700
on splatter.
That's the order you placed, and that's where you put the notes to come on here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Not
bribing you or anything.
What's that?
Not bribing you to come on to the show, but I was just like, hey, let me put this in.
Dude, I put it out there. I'm surprised more people. Not that I'm some fucking celebrity or something, because I'm definitely the fuck not. But I told I was like, any other channels? It's like, invite me on. I was like, Ken's Death Metal Crib, invite me on. We'll just talk shop like we're doing now.
Right.
I was like, Melanie, she said she would do it, but I was like, just contact me, Melanie, because I comment on her channel. She's like, yeah, I'm up for it. I was like, hit me up. I was like, just let me. We'll set up a time, and I was like, you know what? I kind of said the same thing I said to you too. I was like, as long as you know how to do this, what is this thing called? StreamYard. If you know how to do that, then we're golden. I was like, because I don't fucking know how to do it.
Yeah.
I was like, you can post it on your channels. I don't care. You get the views.
I also picked up these ones. I got both of them on black too. I like black vinyl. I'm kind of.
Did you get Diabolical Conquest when we put that out and Mortal Throne Nazarene?
No, I didn't. And
dude,
are you guys going to do those?
Dude, so here's the deal. Wanted to, of course. Dude, those flew out the fucking door. Knew like we knew it would. Well, what happened is, I think it was definitely one of the incantations because we've already done a bunch of morticians. We did the embalmer. There was blood everywhere. We did the deceased. So a bunch of other relapse stuff, right? That we license it from them. And I think the deal is that we either send them 10 or 15% of the pressing, right? And then 10 to 15% to the band. So it's actually kind of an expensive deal. So let's say it's 15% each way. If we press 1,000, 300 copies, we're already giving away 150 to the band, 150 to relapse, right? So what happened is one of the incans, I think it was maybe Mortal Throne Nazarene, when it came out, we sent them their licensing copies. And what happened is they put them up, they sell out immediately for them. We told them we want to repress it. Like, you know what, guys? Like, we're not going to do any more licensing anymore. We're just going to put it out ourselves.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, damn right. You're fucking, you idiots don't even fucking care about this shit. It's like, you just saw how well it sold.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But so yeah, that's the only reason we did it. But those other ones, the reason we were able to repress it, because that was all through the band, because those aren't on Relapse.
Yeah, that's because Diabolical. Oh wait, hold on.
Diabolical Conquest is Relapse. Mortal Throne Nazarene is Relapse. That's why we can't redo them. It's because Relapse wouldn't renew the license.
Yeah, that's right.
Dude, those when we did those, man, those sold out like a month, like all of them gone.
And because I think the one was put out by Olympic.
Yeah, I think it was. Olympic.
Yeah,
it might have been Decimator, or maybe it was Primordial. One of them.
Yeah, so that's what I figured is probably because Relapse just reissued. Of course, now my cat woke up.
Both the two siblings were in my room right before I stepped on the ears, and I put them out because I knew they'd be getting everything while I was on. But they love coming in here.
Oh
all
yeah.
my cats. And I generally little, man. I wasn't sure with the videos. I didn't want them, you know what I mean? So I've shown my cats on camera. I don't know if you ever seen those videos.
I have.
Because they jump. Dude,
He
they love
knows
it in here, yeah.
he knows when I'm on camera, and
Yeah,
that's when he wants to get up and be like, "Hey, I need to be part of the action too."
Yeah. Hey, gotta be part of the action. Fuck yeah, man.
So yeah, Relapse. I just got this. It's been a big
Oh, so they did
incantation
press
week
their
for
skull.
me.
What
Yeah,
did
I
they
just got
what,
these this week too.
Oh, okay. I heard that they were doing it, but I didn't know they actually came out, their version.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, again, with Relapse, they're getting cheap with the quality. Like the vinyl, a lot of times it's thinner.
Oh, is it?
This isn't a gatefold, it's just a
Yeah.
sleeve, and they don't do the foil stamping rarely
Mhm.
or anything like that. So
Mhm.
um yeah, Relapse over the years, it used to be a sick underground label and distro, and
Oh, dude, yeah,
it's
the 90s and shit, they
mediocre
were
nowadays.
awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the 90s, they had dude, if the 90s Relapse, you could be assured at least 50% of it was good.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, God, a lot of that is from where I got my start with a lot of underground metal was from early
It's weird,
Relapse.
yeah.
And
And not only was I buying a lot of their releases, I was buying from their distro a lot too, straight from the Resound catalogs. I would
yeah.
literally find stuff and I would just call them up, and they shipped for free at that time too.
hmm
So I'd place an order from them like every month as a teenager, all the time.
So what I wonder about them is Relapse. It seemed like in the mid 2000s, something changed in their systems. They didn't have record of my order history anymore.
Matt
Was
Jacobs.
Relapse, are they owned by like Sony or something? Or
So to my knowledge, so Matt Jacobson was the main owner. It was him and one other guy. I think it was the guy from Exit 213 or something like that.
Mhm.
It was a Bill, but the main guy that was left was Matt Jacobson. I think he had a bad falling out. He was like money laundering, and he opened up a pizza shop. But long story short, he's no longer part of Relapse, or maybe he still gets a check, but he calls none of the shots. And there was this lawyer guy, which I have talked to. I think it's maybe still him, called Ren. His name was Rennie Jaffe. And
Mhm.
he was the guy in the after, because I was initially talking to Matt Jacobson in the early 2000s when we set up like a mortician hacked up for barbecue, deceased fearless on the machines. It was Matt I was talking to. And then it later became Rene Jaffe setting up some of the licensing. And then it was him that he stopped replying to me for a little bit. And then I was hounding him. And he just said, we're just going to do this shit ourselves now.
Yeah.
And as I was like, oh, you motherfuckers. And not to mention, if that's the case, you could at least reply to me, man. Like you had somewhat of a business relationship. Like we did, I don't know, what, a dozen fucking licensed albums prior. Like, why would you just stop replying to me? Like, at least if your goal is, hey, we were going to do these ourselves to make money, well, at least tell me that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
It kind of feels like maybe there's a bigger partnership there that we don't know about, because Relapse just doesn't feel like an underground label anymore.
No,
It's
it very well could be the case now, because the last time I had any communication with them directly was maybe 2013,
mhm,
14, somewhere around there.
yeah,
So it's been a while. So in
yeah,
the last 9, 10 years or so, I haven't talked to them. So
okay, yeah.
I've ordered from Relapse though. Like when the new Exhumed came out and shit, I pre-ordered it. The last couple Exhumes I did. Stuff like that they put out that I like, I'll generally pre-order it, especially if they do like a limited color vinyl or something. I'll pre-order it so in case it sells out. But
I s-
I have ordered from Relapse in the past recent years.
they're I still order from them, but I remember back when they were a distro that carried other
Oh
labels. But now for the longest time, it's just been only Relapse titles that they sell. Because I used to order from them all the time back when they
yeah,
were a distro.
yeah, they were awesome.
hmm
They were
Yeah.
fast. You got the shit fast as fuck. At least because they were in PA and we were in Ohio. Dude, I always got the shit in like 2 days. And
Yeah.
I always loved, dude. They gave you a bunch of free stickers. You got the sampler. And their distro, they had a big distro. They had a ton of shit.
hmm
So yeah, they were great back in the day.
Yeah. Absolutely. Um, cool. Going back to Perdition Temple and Gene with the wonderful Polish last name. Um, I have now. This is the 7-inch that you guys
Yep.
put out
Yep.
from Perdition Temple, and then I have. I know that they're. I think Oz. I have their first one that Osmos put out. Um,
Yeah.
but then
The
you
Edict.
guys.
What is it? I get the first two mixed up. Is the Edict, and then there's the set. What is the first?
Let's
That
see here.
Perdition Temple and Blasphemic Cruelty, I always got swapped around for the first couple albums because they sounded so much alike in those both jeans. Yeah, the Addict one. That's the very first one. Is that the first or the second?
This is the first one. This is the one
Yeah.
on Osmos. So you guys didn't put a record out for this one. This was
No.
okay. But now these ones, these are the Hell's releases, and I so like going back to my thing about buying black vinyl, I went crazy where I ordered this one from or no wait.
Yeah, look at that sticker in the bottom corner of the one, dude, with those fucking idiots.
Yeah.
The new album, The Merciless. Look at that shit. That's
I
the
know.
plant for you, dude. They can't even put a sticker on right. What a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah. I bought this one from overseas because it was the only place where I could get a black copy.
Oh, no shit. Okay. We must have
Yeah.
just ran out. Yeah. They got some for us.
And yeah, 100 on black vinyl. And then, yeah, this one, the sticker on the fucking bottom. I was like, what the fuck?
Dude, when I opened up the box, I saw that. I just wanted to fly over there and punch him in the face. I'm like, how do you even fuck this up? You know what I mean? Like, just a bunch of fucking idiots working there. And some of them, is yours upside down? Some of them were upside down.
Yeah, this was upside down.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, they stuck the album in the sleeve this way and then put the sticker here.
Dude, I'm like, fucking unbelievable. Dude, I'm like, I know. Shit like that just pisses me off because it's like just a bunch of careless fucks.
And then I got the 2 CD version of this one.
Double. Yeah, because we did it first on just regular jewel case and then a digipack double. Yep.
Yeah. So, but this one, honestly, this is a sick album. I really love this. This
That's
new one
my
that they put out last year. That's
really probably my favorite one by them. I think the new album's probably my favorite.
Yeah, this is really fucking good.
Yeah.
And then going back to where is it? Here. Blasphemy. Oh shit. Because I have that.
The Blasphemic Cruelty.
Okay, yeah. So I have this one.
Yep. They have my favorite is the first full length, which we didn't do. Was it called Devil's Cruelty? Devil's Mayhem, maybe. It was either put out on Nuclear War Now or Osmos. Maybe both did it. But that was the full length.
I think Osmos, maybe.
That was my favorite thing by Blasphemy Cult, and that's I don't know if he's still planning on doing other shit or what.
I just never realized that over the years he's mastered so many awesome albums. Even going back to that Abhorrence one, I'm just like, man, this dude is he's awesome.
I kind of knew, but kind of one of those things like where you kind of know, but it kind of don't pay attention until you stop and think about it. You're like, oh yeah, I guess he has. You know what I mean? It's kind of one of those things.
Yeah, I used to never pay attention to that, or a lot of times other guys played in other bands I didn't know. I just put it on and listened to it. I don't even read liner notes most of the time.
Yeah, dude, that's why I say to a lot of people, like, people bring up, especially with the newer band, the last 5-7 years, that a band that I like, I'm talking to, and people will bring up like the drummer's name. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? You think I know every band member's name from every band I like? Fuck no.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
And now this is another one you guys just put out recently that I really like a lot, and this is another Gene project.
Yeah, and they're no longer with us. They're on Agonia Records.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, no hard feelings. Actually, Gene contacted us when Agonia made him an offer, and I'm not going to say what it is because that'd be too personal. But they were made a very good offer, and just straight up, I remember Chase forwarded me the email. I'm like, I would just tell them, congratulations, man, go with them. I mean, if they're willing to offer you that, I would go with take the money and run.
Yeah.
So that's why. But no, there was no hard feelings. But I thought it was very good too. Yeah, with Steve Tucker on it and shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
And the drummer from Origin.
Yep, John.
Really good EP. I really dig this one.
Do you like that? Do you like the early Origin stuff? Because I personally love it.
Oh, the first Origin is one of my favorites.
I like the first two, but especially the first one. I'm like, that first album is great.
Well, and then also they just a couple years ago put out that demo comp that they had too. Where
what's it called? We probably got them in, and I just thought it was a new album and didn't put it out because I'll probably love that.
It's so much like it's and the thing too, the first one, I like how the first one it's really screamy a lot of times, but the demos comp, I forget what it's called. It's more raw and it's really screamy a lot of times. And I'm a big grindcore guy, so it definitely feels a lot more grindy.
Is it this Abogenesis, a coming into existence? It says it's a compilation. That's why on Agonia Records. Is that it?
Yeah, and what that is that's their original demo that they put out, and then I think maybe some maybe comp tracks or something are also on that one. Really
Shit,
good stuff.
I'm definitely gonna check. So it's early material, just re-released.
Yeah.
So it's got the original singer and shit.
Yeah, a coming into existence. Yeah, it's the original vocalist. Yeah, the first Origin, man, I love that album. That is so good. I saw them play at Maryland Death Fest, way back when, and they were just so tight live too.
Yeah, I seen them, and they're on. I seen them. Yeah, it is, dude. I'm gonna check this. You know what the fucking thing is? Hell's actually might have this in stock. So, I seen Origin with the original singer and shit. They toured with it was Origin and Symbolic Carnage. It was called Contamination Tour, and that was in the year 2000. And Origin was a brand new band, and it was still the original singer. And I thought they were great.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I've been a fan ever since. After the second album, I remember getting a little technical and a little carried away, but I never gave it much of a chance either. So I can't say anything bad about it either. I just remember being like kind of going over my head where I'm like, whoa, this is getting really technical. And I never checked much out. But the first two I own and I like.
Yeah, the Paul Ryan, the guitarist. I think
very nice
really
guy. I met him.
Yeah.
Dude, is that the guitarist? Yeah, he's the one with the long hair, right?
Yeah.
You want to know a funny story about him, man?
Yeah.
So I saw them in 2000 and met them all, had them sign the shit and stuff like that, talked to them. They played recently after that again, hung out, talked to them again and shit like that. And then they played at Peabody's, and I want to say they opened up for, it was a bigger band. I think it might have even been Cannibal Corpse, but a bigger band, and it was shoulder to shoulder. Me and my brothers, me, Eric, and Chase, we get to the show, take our ticket stub, whatever it's called, walks up, hey guys, what's going on? And I'm like, who is this motherfucker? I was like, I know him, but I don't know how I know him. So it was funny. He came up to us and remembered us, and I'm a fan of his band, and I couldn't remember him. It's one of those, like, I know you, but I don't know how I know you. You know what I mean?
And then now you feel like an asshole because you don't know him, but he's like, hey, J-Dawg.
Yeah, he didn't call me J-Dawg, but yeah, he's like, yeah. The funny thing is, that was probably about 2003. And no, I think they were touring for Vader. I think they were touring with Vader. That's who I think they're opening up for. Almost positive it was Vader, and at Peabody's here, and it was a packed Gills show. And I just thought that was funny. I was like, oh, fuck it. But would he remember who I am now? I would imagine not. I don't know. Yeah. I was surprised he remembered me at all at that time. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, their later stuff definitely is very tech death and kind of at times more techy than what I am really interested in.
That's what I recall.
But their early stuff is just so sick. It really is.
I'm totally checking out that Compton thing. I'm pumped for that.
Oh yeah, definitely get that. So I just have like two more things that I was able to kind of pull out.
Well, that'll be perfect, man. Because that'll give us about 2 hours then. Yeah. We don't want to bore them too much. You know what I mean? If it's too long. And then what I'll do too is I'll tell people on my channel, I'll do something. Maybe I'll do a mini video. You let me know when you post this or whatever, and I'll put like a mini advertisement, tell people to come over and check it out. Awesome. And if their response is great, people want to hear more, we can do a part 2 and whatever, another 6 weeks or something.
Yeah, cool. Absolutely. So here's another one, and this is another early Hells release that I haven't listened to in ages. It's a Slaughter picture disc.
Dude, that's another I'm happy to go to my grave whenever I do, saying that we got to work with Slaughter. I mean, what more introduction you need? I mean, that's, I guess, considered Slaughter's first album, right?
Yeah.
Some people consider it a demo, but the song Incinerator on there, I mean, I could listen to that every day. You know what I mean? Get to do that and do the we did the Do You Have the Fuck of Death by Slaughter, the rehearsal with Chuck from Death singing. That was one of our earliest releases. I mean, it was just,
I have
just beyond CD. Proud to say that we did. And it has a die cut cover like that too. Yeah, we did a CD. Yep, we did a CD, LP, and the picture just has a die cut cover like that. So we got to do 2 Slaughter releases, the Surrender or Die, and then the Fuck of Death picture disc. And it's like, yeah, that's old, man. That's old. That's when Eric, I think I was already quit at the time, but Eric and I worked for the same print shop. So those covers, you see what it is? Eric die cut that because Eric ran a die cutter. That's how we got to do those. That's why we don't do those no more. It's because we can't.
So he did it at his old job.
Eric did
the die cutting equipment.
Well, he worked on he was a die cutter operator.
Oh, okay.
So what he would do? We'd have the designs. We'd have the design, and we just paid for the materials. He would clock out, and he pressed them on the clock. I mean, off the clock. Yeah,
Nice.
that's how we
Okay.
did those. That's how we were able to do those because he literally just so happened to be a die cut operator. It had nothing to do with I want to do this because we want to press covers. It had nothing. It just lined up. You know what I mean? So
That's
I do this
awesome.
for so that
Because
was and dude, Eric's been out of Dupli like he was 1 year after me. Fuck, this is early 2000s. So does it say the year on that one that we put that out? That's probably like what 05, 06, 04?
it's
Probably somewhere around
Hell's
there.
number.
Probably 05, 06, somewhere around there.
Looks like it's number 21, 2009.
Oh, 9. Okay, that's even later than I thought. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, the die cutting is absolutely awesome on this jacket. It really is. And plus it's like that matte stock. It's a heavier weight stock, matte finish, nice, grayscale artwork on the back. So you guys did a fucking killer job on the work on this one.
Yeah, no, that's one. Yeah, very, very proud and glad to say that that it like they did. You know what I mean? I'm just very, very happy about it.
Absolutely. That was awesome. Yeah, and I haven't listened to this one in ages, but I'm gonna give it a spin this weekend.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, so it starts off with Disintegrator, and then it goes and make way for the Incinerator. That's like one of my favorites. That song's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome.
Napalm Death actually covers that song too. Napalm Death covered the song Incinerator by Slaughter.
Okay.
You might not know. They covered it in the 2000s, but yeah, thought that was funny. I was like, shit, yeah, fuck yeah. See, even Napalm knows what's up.
Yeah. All right, cool. I just got okay. So here's another one too. I like that you guys put this up. Bestial Warlust, when they were pretty much not a band anymore, but they did this live show.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I really like this, and I like that it's the history of kind of like the band in turmoil, or they're not even a band anymore.
It's funny because I was skeptical about doing the release. Chase set up the reason I was skeptical is because personally, I like live records. I like live bootlegs. I like I don't know if you noticed on my channel, I collect bootlegs out the ass, especially my favorite bands. So so I was like, I'm for it. I was like, but are a lot of people going to want to buy it, especially because it wasn't an expensive deal to do it, but it wasn't just send us 100 copies either. So it was kind of like, yeah, is it going to be justified to do a lot? Like other people going to want to buy it? You know what I mean? So I was a little skeptical, but Chase was like, oh, fuck it, dude, it's Bestial Warlust and not around. I was like, yeah, it's true. Just to have the name on the label, he was like, fuck it, let's just do it, just to say we, you know what I mean, got to work with Bestial Warlust.
Right.
But I remember when I first heard about it, I was a little skeptical. I hope other people want to buy it because I was like, I like live stuff, but I was like, I don't know if other people do. Dude, I love live releases, especially bootlegs, because I love it, the talking in between songs and shit.
Me too.
And I'll always love that crap because it's kind of like it's metal history commemorated. And that's why I love bootlegs and shit. I'm like, dude, I was like, who the fuck doesn't want a 1984 live Merciful Fate bootleg? Like, it's literally a piece of metal history archived.
And
I was like, I don't know why you want to. I was like, I don't know why people don't like it. I was like, I love that shit. So
I have some live shows where even like if it's a crowd recording, in between songs, I'll listen to hear people talk in the background. I have some of those.
You can hear some. Yeah, you can hear it. Yeah, because I have a lot of bootleg just audios too on CDRs and shit. Because if somebody has them, I was like, burn me it, dude. I just want to have it just for my own listening pleasure.
Yeah.
You know,
I have those Bestial Warlust reissues that you did on the gold CDs.
Yeah. Those came out really nice. Really
nice. They did. Nice gatefold digipack. And then,
so
like, what was with the gold? I mean, I like gold CDs. I have a higher end system, so I have like some audiophile releases on gold CD. Like, for that mastering process, is it just you pay a little more for the gold disc, or
that? I don't even remember. I don't think so. I think the production might be slightly more for sometimes Chase just comes up with an idea, or maybe Eric. Like I know, for example, the deceased CDs, the repressed CDs, we're repressing Luck of the Corpse, Fearless and Dead Machines, and Blueprints for Madness. Those are literally like they're at pressed. We should have them next week or the week after, right? A couple weeks, and they're all on colored discs for the same reason. I think it was Eric's idea or King. Maybe King said I want colored discs, or Eric just said, hey, since these are coming out for the 10th time, so like don't remember like maybe Fearless and Dead is on like yellow discs. Luck of the Corpse, I think, on blue discs, and then I think Blueprints for Madness are on green discs or something like that. So same thing, just kind of do something a little different. No other reason.
It's cool. I like seeing that creative touch.
Some of this, I think some of this stuff, because you're asking about the production, you'd almost slightly be disappointed / laugh to how just simple it is. Like, oh, that's it. Like, like that's literally that's it. I was like, is that simple? Yeah, like some of it was literally a 2-second conversation. Yep, let's just do this. Everyone's like, yeah, cool. And that's literally it.
Just
Some of it's, a lot of it's like that. It's like some people probably think there's lawyers in the background and they're fucking recording the
PowerPoint
fucking goddamn
presentation.
conversation. Yeah, yeah. I'm like, dude, there ain't any of that shit going on.
Yeah. I have a degree in audio engineering. I went to school for that way back in the day. So it's like going through that whole process, and especially part of it was still analog at the time. So I kind of just think about like, what goes on with the mastering for this release, and and then me working in manufacturing and print production, I'm like, what went on getting the artwork and the rights to it and all of that,
Yeah.
All right, cool. We're almost at 2 hours. I have one more CD we'll look at, and then we'll call it a day.
Perfect.
So
I got to take a piss here too, so it's right on time. Karis Force. I think that's pretty. I'm almost sure that's how you pronounce it.
I think so. And now, one thing about this is the drummer Jay Reed from Revenge. I saw Revenge play Maryland Death Fest a while back. Absolutely intense live, like one of those bands
dude,
where I could say I like them better live than I
was
do.
just gonna say it, dude, because I'm not a huge Revenge fan, but I like them live. The thing is, no, I take that back. I like Revenge, but I don't. They're a bands because their songs got a little repetitive for me, where I'm like, it all blurs together. But live, they're this aggressive machine. But Revenge and even Black Witchery for years, I said for those bands, I was like, I wish they would have almost just done like a 4-track 7-inch that was like limited and rare. I was like, because their sound is fucking thick. But for me, I just couldn't tell a lot of the songs apart. But when I saw them live, I remember seeing Revenge for the first time. They opened up for Deicide in, I think, 2003. And I was like, fuck. I mean, these guys are like, I thought they were great. I was like, these guys are better live than on album.
Oh yeah. Live, just absolutely intense. And
yeah, very intense energy they give off.
Just an absolutely sick drummer too. I mean, it's one of those bands where it's like you're watching the drumming the whole time. You're not watching the dude shred or anything. Drumming is intense. But yeah, this one too, and then of course everything else he's been in, Conqueror and Revenge. I like all that stuff too.
And then Help Cam singing, and we deal with we have a pretty good relationship. It's funny because we have a good relationship with Pete. We're just talking about. I mean, not Pete. Gene. We have a good relationship with Gene, and we also have a good relationship with Pete. From what I understand, I never asked them. I guess they had a falling out. They don't like each other. I'm not sure what that's about or why.
Yeah.
Because they're both at Angel Corpse. That's why Angel Corpse will never be. I guess they legitimately hate each other. That's what I've heard through the grapevine. Sorry to hear that type of deal. You know what I mean? But on us, we have a good business relationship with both bands. So with both guys, their project. Cool. Awesome. I met Gene briefly. It's funny. I met him. I met Gene and Pete in Angel Corpse when they opened up for Immortal and Satyricon in 2000, 2001, but it was very briefly. And then I met them both at our Head Bash. Gene, I met very briefly at the stand, talked to him because Angel Corpse played, so they were formal then. So that was 2016. And then Pete, the Saturday, me, my wife Lindsay, I think Craig was there, my other brother. We were getting. It was bistro bins and shit like that. And Pete walked in with his wife, girlfriend, and was, oh, hey, Pete, what's up? So that was the first time I ever kind of hung out with Hellcamp and talked to him for 10 minutes. You know what I mean? That's the most interaction. I mean, he seemed, I know he gets the card, he's racist or hateful, or I was like, people asked him, I don't know. He's friendly to me. He didn't bring any of that shit. If he is, I don't know. He didn't bring it up to me.
Right.
I was like, so, because some people have asked, like, on the label, isn't he a racist? I was like, I don't know. Race didn't come up in conversation.
If someone
he didn't bring it up, neither did I.
If someone says they're not racist, I take them on their word. Like, all right, let's move on then. You know.
Yeah. But I didn't ask him either. I was like, I wasn't really concerned. I don't know. So we didn't talk about that.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. So that's everything that I've dug out for today.
Perfect.
I'm glad that we got this opportunity to talk.
Yes, I figured we'd be on for an hour, so we made 2 hours. So I'm glad, because a lot of times when I go on, I go with a blank mind. I was like, what are we going to talk about? I was like, we'll figure it out. And we always do. Because Francisco said the same thing on his. Like, fuck, man, I hope we have shit to talk about. I was like, just hit record, man. We'll talk. I'll figure something out.
Right, definitely.
So, see, we made 2 fucking hours. So,
and if you decide to make it down to Threat Fest, I'll definitely be there on Friday, and then I might drop in on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, our Airbnb is already paid for, so it's almost guaranteed I'm going.
Yeah.
So, cool. But if I'm not there Friday, it's because the driver and I should be there Friday, but I'll definitely be there Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. Awesome. So we might most likely
Uh,
meet up then at that
yeah,
time.
yeah, come up to me because honestly, dude, I may not even fully recognize you because you got the headset on and stuff, and I see, but just make sure to come up to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've been told by many people I look standoffish as fuck, but I'm not. I just look that way.
Right. Right. Right.
I get along with everybody. So just come up to me.
I will do that. And all right. Well, it's been great chatting with you. And then hopefully maybe we can do this again sometime. We
Yeah,
have
perfect. Good.
some time to shoot the shit for a bit about more metal and early Hells releases, which again, I honestly probably the best distro in North America where I can get especially imports and stuff like that. Like you guys always have just like a really sick inventory of stuff.
Definitely try. That's the goal. That's what we try to do.
Yeah.
Trying to be numero uno, whether we are or aren't. That's the goal.
Right. All right, cool. I'm going to sign off here.